Hey, we're back. Let's get them up on stage. Hello, friends.
Stop it, Gibbs. I'm on to you, bro.
Is your camera quality better, Hunter, or you get a new camera, or I don't know, maybe my eyes just see it.
Well,
You-
it's been the same camera for 3 weeks now, but
Okay, maybe I'm just unobservant, but at least to my eye,
No,
the camera quality looks better.
I think the room is brighter, and we can see more.
Yeah, you definitely
details.
did something. It looks a lot different. It looks
Yeah,
good.
it looks better. Yeah.
oh well, thanks.
Lots of
Window's
homo.
open.
Extra Diddy.
I've been struggling with the lighting a little bit, so
Yeah. No, but yeah. I mean, we can see more of the details, more of you aging slowly in front of us, dying, really getting closer to the end. We can see that all in 4K now. So it looks fantastic. But
always
yeah,
starts
glad
with
you guys
insults,
are
doesn't it?
here. I know. I know. I started with a compliment.
Well, actually,
And
I
then
started with a compliment of saying how good you look.
I'm on to both of you.
I agree. He looks good.
I'm on to you.
Good. Now come to our side, Hunter. Come to my side.
Oh, please.
Good.
I think it's literally impossible.
Come join me.
Wait, Gibbs, your cat's name is
As much as Prime thinks that
Boba,
I'm-
correct?
Yeah, the white one is Boba Cat, the other one's Garfield.
I think you're someone released a song in honor of your cat. Then,
Did they really?
yeah, I'll post it.
Yeah, while that's happening, Hunter. Yeah. No, you'll stick with the with the label Democrat, right? But in the end, you'll
wait,
vote
yeah,
for
yeah,
a
it's
lot of his priorities. So yeah,
a lot of
it's fine.
what?
You like Admiral Gibbs said that you should come and join him. You said you won't do that, and then you were about to say something about me.
As much as Prime probably thinks that me and him are the same.
I don't think you're the same.
I don't think it's the
that,
same.
you know,
I think actually that
no, I
there's
think
a
you're a
subtle
spineless
difference.
liberal.
I think
No, I
there's
think
a
you're a
subtle
spineless
difference
liberal,
between
is what I think
liberalism and
you are.
fascism.
A spineless,
that, of
dirty
course,
liberal,
The spine is dirty level.
but
Corey,
with a
what do you-
high quality camera.
What do you
it's all-
identify as?
I'm like
the handmaiden
I
of
don't know,
fascism.
progressive. In the leftist direction. Maybe not quite as that.
Okay, so
It's
just
arguable
me.
whether I'm more less.
You know what he identifies as? Because he's Canadian. Poor, because Alabama's richer than them now. And that's not good for y'all.
Alabama's richer than.
Okay, well, I don't want to get
Yeah,
into
their
the weeds.
GDP is higher now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
big time.
embarrassing.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Actually, it's a very impressive turnaround for Alabama, but still
Yeah.
embarrassing for Canada.
What's the average life expectancy of a person in Alabama?
I don't know, probably like 30 because they're all bucktooth and inbred. What are you talking about? Like, roll tide! Roll
Yeah, why do you think we're gonna?
Like,
Why do you think
like
we're
the
gonna
overall
defend
median income
Alabama?
in Canada is lower than the United States. I can admit that, but like
Listen, well, at least they can buy
we
cool
have
guns
healthcare,
and
we have other
hot
like
rods.
social services that like you don't like. These are all like balanced out.
Nah.
That's
That's
probably
Alabama.
true.
They don't need none of that shit.
Yeah, where are you getting your numbers from? I would bet that it's just personal income.
Oh, it was GDP. Alabama's GDP was larger than Canada's just like last year.
Oh,
Some
that's
study
it?
came out or some shit. Yeah. Listen, I'm going to talk my shit, all right? You're an American.
All
You should
right.
be happy to talk shit to
Hold
Canada.
on, I am happy to talk shit about Canada. I am not very
Yeah, that's
happy
right.
to defend Alabama.
Listen, that's neither here nor there. If our worst among us are beating them, imagine what the top tier do.
Medium in what way?
You know what,
Again,
that's
let's
fucking-
compare life expectancy. Let's
that's
compare
true.
infant mortality. Let's compare maternal mortality. Like
Doesn't
it's not- we
matter.
can- doesn't matter.
50,000,
As long as the
whatever.
GDP, as long as our number go up, we're
Hey,
winning.
We don't want to get into specifics, okay? We just want you to
What
know
are
that you're worse
specifics,
than
really?
us.
Yeah, that's right. Just like in hockey.
Okay.
Nothing.
But wait a minute. Hold on. Corey, I'm gonna agree with you probably, right, on lots of things here, including that like the Canadians are probably like just better off than Alabamans in almost every way possible. However, right? So I haven't looked at these numbers, right? I'm gonna take it on faith. Our friend Gibbs is correct on this GDP thing. But assuming that's correct, right? Doesn't it really mean that the problem is that no one lives in Canada? that you have that massive open space and there's no one there.
I
There's
agree with you.
no
It's
one
largely
there.
open space. We're a country of about 40, 42 million.
Yeah, we're 10 times your size.
Yeah. And I agree that we are geographically bigger. We have more space. So like,
Yeah.
and we're all
He
we're all
admitted.
we're all clustered
Yeah.
up to, yeah. I'm not. I don't dispute basic facts.
I
That
know.
is
I,
true.
just, I don't know why I
And
wanted. I just
so-
wanted to say
Oh,
that.
it's not just GDP. It's also unemployment rate. Alabama's 2.7. Canada's 6.5.
Which
And-
lower unemployment doesn't necessarily mean always good. Like what? Even that's
I'm just
I'm not an
saying, just
economist.
throwing it
but,
out there.
Are you,
Just-
are you saying you want
Two
0%?
numbers are better
Do
now.
you want 0% unemployment? Is that what you were
I'm
going
just
for?
saying the two numbers are
No,
better
if
now.
anything, I think lower than 3% is like considered something
Case is
bad.
building.
But I'm just saying, like, wouldn't it be better if you were ours? Like, be mine, Valentine, right?
slow
Like,
with all that.
No, we can flip it. Why don't you just merge into us?
uh,
I would say that sovereign states should probably get to keep their sovereignty, Corey. So I like that you're not a part of us, but I also like that you're less than us.
Less
So,
By what metric?
American.
Okay. No. Wait. I've had this conversation.
here's how I have
many
that-
times before. Okay.
Here's how I have that
I'm gonna-
conversation. Wait,
I
hold
will
on. Here's
pose the
how I
same
know that you're
challenge
less
that
than
I've
me.
done to Lactoid. You open a Kinder Surprise on stream. I'll admit all day, every day, how much United States is better than Canada.
Corey, here's how
What
I
if
know
you, like,
that.
did it in
Here's how I know that
Canadian
we're better than you. I look
in
at the
Canada?
map and I go, "Does your country say United States of America?" That's how I know. And it doesn't. So we are.
Okay,
That's
and,
it.
and,
You
and
know
if,
how
we
it
survey,
could? We
if we
manifest
survey,
destiny.
if we survey across the population of Canada, United States, which high proportion can read just a map in general? Do you think?
Can read whether or not it says Canada.
No,
or
just read
United-
any map in general.
What does
Let's-
that
let's-
mean?
let's
Read
compare-
a map.
Let's compare
Understand the
literacy
map.
rates as well.
What do you mean
Understand
read
the
a map?
map
Like,
literacy.
look at
Who
a.
needs to read? We shoot good.
You think Americans can't read a map, as in look at a country and say what name that country is?
I'm more than happy to compare, probably in terms of like literacy.
You know,
rates.
yeah.
How do you
first
think-
one.
Hold on. No. Literacy rates are usually like do you read at a 6th grade reading level? And Americans
Hunter.
not very great. But looking at a map and saying what country it is feels like a 1st grade reading level.
That's not
Mm.
the hypothetical that I'm proposing.
So hold on. So there's two things here, Hunter. One is what you were saying about like can you like read the names, right? But like I think the deeper thing is like do you know like which countries are which, right? How many countries can you identify without the names, right? And another thing.
How is that reading a
is, like,
map?
Of course, hold on.
Then there's no names on it. That's not reading a map. That's looking at the world.
Oh my God,
and
Hunter,
putting words on it. That's writing a
Hunter,
map.
I need you to concentrate. Hold on, Hunter. I need you to focus here for a second, okay? Right? That is a level of comprehension. Call it whatever you want, Hunter, so that you don't spaz out on me. But
I won't
it's
call
about
it
a
reading a
comprehension.
map.
So whether you can identify countries, right? Like in relation to others, right? Like, hey, like, the thing am I showing you? Is
Yeah,
that
we're gonna do
Europe,
terrible at
right?
that.
Or is it Australia? And then understanding like like what those countries are in relation to us, in relation to the America.
Yeah.
Right? It's another
Writing a
level of
map, I
comprehension.
think we're gonna do a bad job. But you know what? Me and Gibbs know. This is the one thing we're gonna be united on, is that we're the United States of America,
That's right. America.
and that's
Fuck
it.
yeah.
That's all we fucking need.
That part's
That's right.
That's
Can
part-
either of
the
you
best.
locate all 50 states across the
I have
United States
before.
map?
I did it. in
Have
college.
before, like in
Stop
elementary
saying
school?
read. I'm writing.
Yeah,
I'm
I did
writing
it in
that.
fucking college.
Because you're
I
saying
said
I look
identify.
at a blank
At
map.
one point,
said
at one
identify.
point, I knew all the countries in Africa and the capitals. But now
Hold
I
on.
don't know
If I could I identify all 50 states if I look at a map of the
If
United
I gave you a
States?
blank United States map,
Well, so
okay,
there you
with
throw
the
it in.
state
You throw in
outline.
the blank.
yeah, of
Because if
course.
I got a
I could
map of the
probably
United
get pretty
States, I think I
close.
could probably identify them.
no,
It's got the
no,
name
I'm
on it
just-
written right there.
Yeah, that's not the I understand. It's difficult for you.
Could I
to,
do all 50
engage in
states? I
hypotheticals.
could probably do all 50 states.
Okay, you want to test it? We can go do it on stream. Me and you, one-on-one, blank United States map,
Oh, you think you could do better than me?
probably.
What?
I played enough Paradox games where I could beat you guys in Europe for sure.
Oh,
All
well,
the
that
countries.
wasn't the
That'll be-
question.
No,
Yeah.
not that you could beat me either.
In
I
Europe?
agree.
I play a lot of-
I agree. You could
I
do
play a
better
lot
in
of that
Europe.
Supremacy World War.
I'm
II
on.
games.
I
got
play a
all my
lot
troops
of.
down.
I play a lot of like Victoria and like Europa Universal. I'm pretty good at geography when it comes to countries.
So, are you going to accept the challenge?
I
Sure.
could probably
I don't know how we're gonna do it, but if you- if you-
100.
if
I
you do
could
it,
probably 100% United States. I
Well,
think.
there-
I could probably do 100% US too. The East Coast gets a little.
Have you ever lived here,
fuzzy.
Yeah,
Lactoid?
North.
Because
Because you're Canadian, right?
Where's North
No.
Dakota?
True.
He absolutely is.
Hunter, are you actually asking if I'm Canadian,
Aren't you?
or is? Oh God.
Yeah, he's absolutely Canadian.
This is the danger of misinformation, guys. You know what happens, right?
He's
What are you talking about? What
Swedish.
misinformation?
Of course.
He's a crypto Canadian. He hides undercover the entire time. He makes misleading statements about where he actually came from. He's been sent here to undermine America, which is
believe
why he became a libertarian.
Yes.
Oh, you gotta just
Canada's
you gotta
great
dismantle
plan.
the federal government, guys. It's for your own good. Yeah. Hold on. Which one here is more American? I support my government. You want to dismantle it, Lactoid.
True, and replace it with the Russian government.
Hold on. You don't
so-
support this government. You want it to be supplanted by a socialist government.
Yeah, I support the
Uh,
Kremlin. You support Hamas.
I'm the only one who
Come on,
supports
we're-
the government. Actually, Gibbs is the only one who supports the government.
That's right.
Well,
Well,
Like this current instantiation of the government.
I support the freedom of the government. I
support
want
what's
to
best
feel
for
it with my
Papa.
people. But hold on, just like everyone does, right? And if Obama was still in office, Gibbs would say he supports the framework of America, but he wants to fill it with his people, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we have elections.
Obama was doing some pretty base things in the Middle East. It's just saying, you know.
Okay. Okay. So we're
And
just,
he's doing some pretty interesting things with the border as well. Just saying. Might be surprised. Clash for Clunkers wasn't terrible either.
yeah. Sorry.
wait a minute, that was Obama.
Cash for Clunkers. Yeah.
I know he did the phones, but I didn't know he did that.
Yeah,
He did Cash for
was
Clunkers.
Obama.
Yeah, that was under his administration.
Wow. Huh. The more you know.
Yeah. It's
do you
crazy.
think of
Gibbs
that,
actually does know
Lactoid?
some history now and again.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah,
I was ambivalent before, but then I learned Obama did it. I'm really opposed. Really bad policy. Very bad, I
Valid.
would say. Yeah.
Frankly, it's the best policy.
Yeah.
That's his Obama.
I can't.
Okay. So we are still. Yeah, I just double checked because I don't want to give out bad information. It says the car allowance rebate system, known as Cash for Clunkers, was a $3 billion 2009 U.S. federal program that gave consumers $3,500 to $4,500 trade in older, fuel inefficient cars for new, more efficient ones. Yeah. There you go. Okay, so we're still waiting on a few others.
Who we waiting on?
Hopefully they'll be here soon.
Ali
And then
and
of course,
Grid 1.
Ali. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Ali is here in under a half hour. What?
What's
God.
good? Listen, we got off work a little early today. What's going
All
on?
right. We love to
How's it
see
going,
it.
bro?
Glad to have you here.
Chilling.
Okay.
Hunter, that camera, insane.
Oh, see, I'm not the
brother.
only one, right?
Yeah.
Insane,
We've
brother.
been saying.
I put a
I don't know what
fucking- I put
happened.
a-
I don't
put
think
a-
I did anything.
Listen, I put a little ND filter in front of my E-meet. This shit changed my entire world.
I
but
don't know
that
what I
camera
did.
that you
now
got
I'm
is
like, now I'm worried it's gonna
spectacular,
go
brother.
back to the previous quality before.
And then we'll be
No, no.
disappointed and we'll laugh at you.
Yeah. Shit.
Also, that "What is a Woman" video on TikTok.
Thank you.
Great one.
I saw that
Great
message.
one.
I didn't respond though.
Yeah. Fuck my algorithm. Now I'm gonna get Lily Trino all over my fucking logo. Fuck.
You're allowed
you.
to post about that
But-
on TikTok without getting banned.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they've changed their rules since I've stopped posting, so now I can maybe get back to it. Because I used to get
It was all
like none of my
he was
videos
too
would
edgy.
go. Yeah, none of my videos would go. I'd get banned off live every 3 lives. Like it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's
Hmm.
pretty easy to get banned. Like, you have to say unalive and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
there's
As far as I feel like I have a different experience with TikTok than every other person, because that's always been like a cult myth that you have to say unalive instead of kill. You could totally say kill the entire time.
I mean, listen.
No, 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 it wasn't. No, no, it wasn't kill. It was suicide.
Yeah, you couldn't say suicide.
Sure. I've never had any issue posting any video with saying the word kill or genocide or suicide or.
Yeah,
I think
What are the other
for
words
me
that
it was
can't-
funky
This
for a
is
while.
probably an Israeli plot by Mossad to get us all banned right here. Right? What he's
Exactly.
True,
saying.
fueling the conspiracy theories.
Mhm.
Okay. Hey, hey. Looks like we're all here. We could go on a rant, a side project, but last time we did not get to the subject, and it made a friend, Hunter, quite sad.
I was a little
Um,
tilted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
I
I
hope
do
that's
want
okay.
to. That's okay. Hey, it's okay to feel emotions here. All right. This is a safe
Really?
space. Yeah. Um. We'll.
I think me and
like,
Hunter clearly won. I think pretty directly.
I
last
think
time,
we're
so-
going to win.
I don't think
I'm
you guys
excited
won
for the
at all.
lactoid.
I'm still
Sorry.
confused at
What the
what
fuck did
your
you win?
guys' prescription is. I'm very confused.
well,
as to what your guys'
you
prescription
know,
was from
whatever it
last
was,
time.
it was.
You guys had no prescription.
Okay.
It was just mumbo jumbo.
I'm the doctor.
Mumbo
I
jumbo
bring
in
the
the
prescriptions.
ether.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. I fucking
Hell
laid it
yes.
down.
Yeah, fuck.
We
You
wrote
tell that to
the
women.
You
script,
get sued,
Ollie.
sued enough. You're a bad doctor. You get sued a lot for
We
malpractice.
wrote
I can
the
tell.
script,
The way you do hypotheticals and the way you come out with
bro.
prescriptions.
I'd
is
sue
just
myself and then
atrocious.
defend myself, make money off it. What are you gonna do? Huh?
Well,
You should
Great
you should
move.
tell that to women, Lacto. They call
Definitely
me
a better lawyer than a doctor.
because it's Monday night.
I got a
Usually goes late
prescription
on
for
Monday night.
loving.
Yo, Grid. Yo,
Grid,
yo, yo,
mute
yo.
yourself, bud.
Yeah, mute yourself, friend.
You probably can't hear, I imagine.
Yeah, no,
No,
he
he
can hear.
can't.
He can mute
No,
No,
himself.
he
Right.
can hear if he, yeah.
So why don't we get started, and we'll see where things take us. But thanks for being here. If you're here, follow the channel if you haven't done so already. On all our platforms, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. Follow the channel, support the channel, subs the channel, resubs the channel, all that good stuff. Okay, and yeah, let's get started. All right. The topic. The Senate just passed the 21st Century Road to Housing Act with strong bipartisan support. The bill will create grants to fund housing construction, remove zoning and permit barriers, and more crucially, limit private equity's ability to buy up housing stock. This would have wide sweeping effects on America's housing market during a time of high unaffordability. Do you support this bill being signed into law? Do you think this bill goes far enough? If you're against this law, what solutions would you put forth to address the housing crisis? Trump also signed 2 executive orders on Friday, like 2 Fridays ago or whatever, to tackle the housing issue. Do you support this multi-pronged approach to get Americans into homes? So yeah, this bill got not passed. It got through the Senate. But it's on its way. We got buy-in from both sides, and there's a housing sorry, not housing, a House version, right? House Representatives version, that's supposed to be weaker than this. I'm not exactly sure what provisions are like different, but like it's these bills are going to go into like reconciliation, and we'll see how that turns out. Like what survives that process. But I've heard that the Senate bill, like, it's a good chance that many of those provisions will make it out. We'll see. But some of these parts might be a little bit controversial, especially the private equity portion. And I'd really like to focus on that. But yeah, I'm curious what you all have to say. We'll go around the room. Start with our friend Lactoid.
Yeah, I'm Lactoid. I have Lactoid TV, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Generally opposed, obviously, to the grants, government money, bad. Generally, good, yay, taking away, restrictions, regulations, all that good stuff. The zoning and permit barriers, I'm actually pretty in favor of that. I think that zoning should be replaced with HOAs, which will solve all the problems. Wonderful, beautiful HOAs, and remove all zoning and just have like factory HOAs and stuff too. That'd be fucking hell yeah. I'm a fan of that. I think really the thing that maybe I'm wrong because you never know how this goes. Maybe the thing we're going to run into a roadblock here and litigate is I think the big thing, which is institutional buyers of single family households. I mean, people have been talking about this. This was actually something that is sort of almost agreed upon by both sides of the aisle. Like there's a strange level of bipartisan agreement here. I just don't think this is a thing, really. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, institutional buyers of single home houses is what, less than 1%. I mean, we're talking a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction. The idea that this is what's responsible for housing costs, I think, is myopic. It just doesn't seem to be backed by the data, and I think that this is a little bit more of a. I think the fact that it's such a small deal is, to me, makes it feel a little bit more like a political baton than anything else. Which, hey, look, we're doing something. Focus on this. Yes, yes, yes. Look, we're going to stop the big investors from buying your house. And then they're going to pepper social media with all sorts of anecdotal examples of this happening. But again, I really think this is a distraction. So that's my take.
Thank you so much, friend. Let's go to our friend Corey.
There's definitely a lot of the points that I agree with Lactoid in terms of let's say a little bit of a deregulation, modifying zoning laws and all that stuff. And I also take the point and agree overall from what I can tell of like this aspect of private equity and then buying up housing. That doesn't seem to be like a major problem, or like, yeah, pretty much represents a very tiny fraction in terms of like the amount of home ownership by private equity. Like from what I can tell from the data, the vast majority of homes are owned by individuals or families and not private equity, as Lactoid pointed out. Where I deviate from Lactoid is like, well, yeah, with the grants and all that stuff. But also at the end of the day, like what matters, at least for me, when it comes to legislation or policy is like, well, is it actually effective? So if at the end of the day, okay, I'm more than happy to, let's say, support this, see how it plays out. If it actually, let's say in 3 to 5 years from now, it doesn't actually end up addressing affordability, then probably something should change. But as of now, I think this is a good experiment to run to see how it works out. Then hopefully we can actually have data and track things and see whether going in the right direction, or rather whether the United States is going in the right direction or wrong direction. And I'll leave it there for now.
Thank you so much. Let's go to our friend Hunter.
Yeah, so housing is one of those things in America that is one of the most studied and most well-known phenomena in in politics. It's super easy to understand what the issue is, which is largely zoning regulations. It's preventing housing supply from being built. My main issue with this piece of legislation, Lactoid mentioned it, I don't think that there's anything in here about zoning regulations or about things like transfer taxes or building codes that actually prevent cities from blocking construction. So when it comes to the Housing Affordability Act, I don't think that this is going to do much, if anything, at all. I'm all for grants if they're used in very narrow, specific ways. I mean, grants are good when they're good and they're bad when they're bad. And to me, there's some competitive grants in this analysis. In this bill, there's competitive grants that let people experiment with different types of housing policies, but this kind of feels a little foolhardy considering we kind of know the types of housing policies that work and don't work, because we've had 200 cities in the United States try, like, already experiment to begin with. My big issue, largely speaking, is this obsession with big institutional investors, and that's hopefully where me and Lactoid are going to agree, that it's specifically Title IX of the Road to Housing. It says something like housing is for corporations, not people. This is like we're running out of food in America and we're saying we need to ban McDonald's. It's like, if anything, they're going to be helping the situation. Why are we banning corporations? They make up less than 1%. It doesn't make any financial situation. It's this complete myth that BlackRock is buying up properties and then holding onto facilities, and that's what's limiting supply. What's limiting supply is city council meetings that prevent housing from getting built. But that's all. I hope that we can have a substantive debate on this. We'll see with the we'll see what we can do.
We'll see what we can do. Let's go to thank you for that. Let's go to our friend Ali.
Yeah, I don't really understand legislation much. I'm not gonna lie. The reading this doesn't make sense. However, when I hear talks about housing, I like Hunter. You keep talking about zoning and all that. I never see that as the issue. I see the issue that there are multiple people who own apartments and like apartments and houses that are putting them up for rent, and they make all this money off of their rents, but then they keep jacking up the rent, but they never fix the houses, and then when they finally get caught, when it catches up to them, they can't fix it. So on, so it's like that. Then the zoning becomes the issue, and the legislation becomes the issue. I don't know. It just seems like people are making hand over fist when it comes to the like rental properties, and when it comes to like BlackRock is owning everything. I think people feel that they can't afford a house, they have to rent, right? So it's not necessarily that BlackRock owns everything, and it's not like huge, but there's a lot of people who have enough money to buy multiple houses to put them up for rent, or the people that own the apartment complexes, or the companies that own the like these are the people that they have to resort to every single time. So it does feel that regardless, if you're saying 1% of people own 1% of companies own the property, or they own 1% of the property. Sorry. It doesn't feel that way for most of the people, considering that most of the people are renting. And who are they renting from? They're renting from like the owner who's making money off them. So it just feels like a company or a business it's just a business that they're functioning for. So I actually, we can talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to our friend Gibbs.
Well, first, before we begin getting into this, I have some announcements to make because, why not use our intro as promo time? Papa Gibbs now monetized all across YouTube. Pretty excited about that, so go check that out, guys. Secondly, we are having our second best month of all time this month so far. We reached our goal. We are now going to be marathoning, so for the rest, probably several days. So I'm going to be bringing a bed in here at some point tonight. We'll be doing the whole sleep good jazz and all that fun stuff. So you're ready for the old school Gibbs Marathon. Tune in. As for the Housing Act, I like deregulation. That's great. I don't necessarily like that they're trying to get private equity out, though, because fuck them. Corporations are good. We like that thing. See, Hunter and I agreed on something. We like corporations.
What is
You agree by
surprise?
default.
People.
You
What is
agree by
surprise?
default.
Or corporations are
This is
people.
the first time we've ever agreed. Fuck you.
This is not. We've agreed several other times. This is the main one, though. But yeah, corporations are people. I'm excited to try to convert him via capitalism to our side. Yeah, we'll see what happens with this bill. HOAs suck dick. If you live somewhere where there's an HOA, they're the worst thing in the world. I hate them, and I hate you if you like them. Let's see. What else? What else we got? Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited to get into it. I had to go do a deep dive on this and find out what the difference was because I didn't know as much as I thought I did about this, which is not that surprising because whatever, it's not even out yet. But hey, let's keep going. I'm excited. Red, I'm ready to hear you.
All right. Well, give me 1 second, guys. I just had to I had to take a phone call there. I apologize. I hate doing that, but had to be done.
You're good, man.
All right. I'm actually one of those evil landlords, right? Like I have a real estate trust that owns a bunch of properties in Columbus, Ohio. We're looking at buying properties in San Antonio. We're looking in various other cities across the country. The reality is to be honest with you, the law that was passed doesn't really do anything for people like me at all. Doesn't stop a single thing that I do. None of the things that Ollie talked about, this law will help at all. None of zero, absolutely zero. As a landowner, as a property owner, I'm not a slumlord. So like all of the properties I have, I keep in very good condition and I constantly improve them because that's how the value goes up. If they become piles of shit, nobody wants to live there. First of all, rents go down. I hate it when the rent goes down. I want to charge the most possible rent that I can. And second, if I do need to sell that property, I need to get some money, right? Like I'm greedy. I'm greedy. I'm just gonna be honest about it. We're all greedy. We need to be honest about our greed. And so I want the most amount of money possible for that asset when I go to get rid of it. No matter how much it's paid me out, I still want more. I still want all of the money. But the actual law only affects people who have over 1,000 properties. Now, the interesting part of this is that I can have a corporation that has 1,000 properties, and I can have a second corporation that has 1,000 properties, and I can do that as many times as I need to. And this law would not affect me, not one little bit. Anybody that thinks that you can legislate any kind of morality is in fucking dreamland. So that's first thing. So let's not even talk morality here. Like you guys are insane if you want to talk about the morality of being a slumlord. What we could talk about is, well, how does it negatively affect property values? Well, it can, but it can also, but it's not negatively affecting it in the way that you think. In general, slumlords drive property value down, and that way it makes it easy for people to buy cheap houses because nobody wants to live in their neighborhood with a bunch of fucking slumlords. They just don't want to live there. So, but now in my case, I bring the property value in my area up because I improve my houses. I make sure they're painted. I charge maximum amount of rent for it. And I actually, my goal is to, when I sell a property, I need to make, I basically need to, I want to clear a little over $100,000 per property, period, like minimum, like absolute minimum. So if I have $60,000 into the house where I paid, with the down payment and any remodeling costs and what it costs me to rent it, make sure that my rent covers the mortgage on the property. This is very simple math. And then as soon as that property accumulates to where I double my money, I consider selling it. Right. So if it's make $120,000 or so, that's fine. But more than likely, I'm just going to keep it and watch that ticker go up. And again, I increase the property value in my areas, which is why everybody hates me. Now, people don't hate me because I'm a slumlord. People hate me because I take a $100,000 house, and because I put money into it, and because I add value to it, it becomes a $400,000 house. And now your dumbass can't afford it, and that's not my fucking problem. Just don't be poor. That's it.
Okay, I just want to clarify something quickly. So, Grid, based off what you said, where you can't legislate morality, so I assume you want to get rid of laws against murder, then, right?
I'm sorry.
As in, you said you can't legislate against morality, so I assume you want to get rid of murder laws, correct?
Abortion's already legal.
I'm sorry, Lactoid got me there. How does a murder law legislate morality when you're allowing abortion? How is that even fucking close? You dumb fuck.
That doesn't answer my question.
Idiot.
That
Seriously,
doesn't answer my
that's
question.
the fucking dumbest thing you've ever said. You said some dumb
And
shit.
we're off to the races,
That was
boys.
the dumbest motherfucking thing I've ever heard said on this panel. And I've heard a lot. You want to tell me murder has legislating murder is not morality? There's no morality to it. What moral does it encompass?
So an unjustified killing is not morality for you.
Well, it may be justified in my eyes.
Okay. What? This is okay. Wait, hold on. You said we can't legislate morality.
If there's more murder around the houses,
you dumb fuck.
The housing price goes down. Okay.
Now Lactoid's the one talking. Yeah, Lactoid.
I'm just saying.
So Lactoid, you agree with this, right? As in,
yeah. If more murder, then the housing prices go down,
and that has nothing to do with morality, right?
Solved affordable housing.
Exactly. So you also want to get rid of murder laws, right? Or laws against murder, right?
Vagrancy laws, anything that can make houses cheaper. I'm in favor.
Okay, good, gotcha.
Okay,
I know there's a
obviously
when
we say we shouldn't legislate morality, what we really mean is that when we
can't.
No, not that we
No,
can't.
I'm just saying.
Well, he said
you can't legislate morality.
You can't legislate morality. What you mean is that you can't do it on the front end, in that you can't just write into laws what you specifically want the world to do. Because obviously you can. I mean, we saw this during Prohibition. You ban alcohol. It can lead to events where there's actually more alcohol than before, and it's just harder to regulate. But obviously, whenever you're writing legislation, you're making normative claims about what you want the society to look like, which is, in a sense, morality.
That's the dumbest thing ever, Hunter.
Wait, hold on. How is it
you
in
said
a
some
sense
dumb
morality?
thing.
What are you appealing to? Because if I say that it's not moral, what argument do you have against it?
I would say that's a wait, hold on. Any piece of legislation is a normative claim. We're saying we ought
He's
Well,
not
a normative
correct.
claim is not morality. That's just us agreeing that this is how
else-
it ought be, how it should be. But it doesn't. It
How
doesn't
else can you
appeal to
derive
anything.
should but from morality?
Here, let me help. Okay, because I think I know what's happening here.
Okay.
Grid is saying that when it comes to housing or any other like technical like market situation,
Mhm.
we should be driven
morality
by. Hold on, I'm not saying that's morality.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying when it comes to these situations, we should be driven by like numbers and stats and like what actually works to achieve XYZ outcome, as opposed to perhaps what some people are like the micro morality of the situation, right?
I understand.
Like, oh, this particular landlord rose my rent. That's immoral. Well, no,
We should
like
ban that.
I
Yeah,
don't
totally.
think he's
I know,
I don't
and
yeah
I
I don't
think
think he's
that's-
opposed to
I think that's
macro
silly.
morality. I think the question is here is there's
No,
a lot of
you
housing
said you
policies
can't-
to be
you
driven
can't
by like
legislate
micro
against
morality.
I
You
understand.
can't
that.
legislate people to be moral. You cannot legislate morality.
Okay,
You
so-
can
Wait,
you
wait,
can
wait,
take
wait,
a
wait.
moral and say this is
So
you
you would
know,
agree, actually, that murder laws have no effect on the murder rate, right?
Okay. Yes.
Come on.
Hold
Murder
on,
should be
this
illegal.
is so
Is-
No, no, why
stupid.
I am
can't you-
fine.
No.
I am
you-
fine
you
with
can't.
legislating
No, no,
morality.
I'm gonna steal.
Corey. I am fine with
But you
legislating
can't.
morality. I'm
Grid says you
trying.
can't. What claim are you going to make? That you,
I'm trying.
trying to
I'm
build a
trying to
bridge.
help.
You have no
I'm trying to
grounds.
help because I
Why
understand.
are we mad at
the-
Lactoid right now?
No.
You're
just
because
aligned with
I'm
Grid.
look,
You're
I'm
just
just
gonna.
I'm just
you're just
no,
gonna
I'm
be.
no, I'm trying
sympathetic
to
to him no matter what.
explain the situation because
No, no.
I think I see what's happening, and I think you're like let's bear with me for a second.
You should take one of those
So
flags
you would-
and make them a cape, Lactoid.
You would agree. Oh yeah. You would agree that when it comes to like a technical situation, like let's say we're talking about I don't know, like nuclear engineering or something along these lines. Like it's important to look at yes, the overall impact in the macro is going to have moral implications that we should care about, but like we shouldn't get all up in our feelings about any single case or like any
Obviously.
individual circumstance. And I think this is when it comes to housing as well, because when you look at I think a lot of housing policy. It's driven
rent
by,
control.
rent control, right? Where
Yeah.
just objectively this is horrible economically, but hey, don't raise my fucking rent. Or that's kind of similar a little bit to like NIMBYism, right? Where it's like, yes, building more housing is good, but not in my backyard. Fuck that. And so that's what I think is the thing that I
Okay,
think.
That's-
Grid,
that's
you can
what you're
correct
saying.
me.
Okay.
Grid, is that what you meant when you
No,
said you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
legislate
So
morality?
I will grant that. I will grant that. So then, but now I
Wait,
want to
Corey,
hear.
let's
if-
listen
well, I mean, look, we
Yeah,
can
no, I'm
we
going-
can
I'm gonna
talk
hand you
about
Grid. So then, Grid, can you summarize Lactoid's point for me?
well, what Lactoid's
he's
really
backing you
talking
up.
about are ethics, right? Which are different than morals.
Oh my god.
This is definitely paraphrasing.
We're
Lactoid's
so
point.
fucking
Yes.
in the weeds. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not the one that brought morality into this, except
You-
other than saying that you
What?
can't
That
legislate
was
it.
literally in your
You
opening
can't
statement.
legislate
whatever,
people
whatever.
to be good.
Explain
you
the difference
can't
between
legislate
ethics and
people to
morality.
be good. You can't legislate people to not take advantage of what's in front of them. If you pass a law that says I can't do this, I will figure out a way around it. That's what human beings do: is we solve
Oh my
problems.
god, that's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard in my life. There are
Hell
obviously
yeah! Now,
ways
two
we
of the
can
dumbest things have ever been
we
said.
can
Yeah,
minimize
I
that.
can say dumb shit.
We can
help me out here.
minimize that. We can minimize the ways
Hell-
that people go around laws. That's like, are you
You
saying
can?
laws are futile? Futile?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to.
So
pronounce
did
that
Grid
word
just
even.
echo your point, Lactoid? Did you hear those same words that you just
That's
said?
why we should let corporations do whatever they want.
I did not hear my point after.
Okay. So he's not saying what you're saying. He can't even.
I
articulate
think
his
I
own
think
point.
that's what he means. I'm trying to be charitable
Well,
here.
I
I think
just
that's what he
asked
means.
him.
I'm
He doesn't even understand your own point. Okay, I understand you're trying to pretty much.
Sorry,
be
I'm
sympathetic
with
to him.
I'm with
okay, 'cause
Corey.
he's
No,
on your
I'm being
side.
charitable. I'm being
No, you're not.
charitable.
Well, you don't
That's
need
what
to
I'm
be
doing.
charitable. Look, I'm
Yes,
just
I
saying. that
am.
You don't have to be though.
Not with this guy. What are you fucking talking about? That laws don't affect the way that we handle our do you feel like laws are futile? I guess my question is.
Yeah.
I think that laws are necessary. However, but
Why?
hold on.
But they don't affect any human behavior. You just pretty much said that.
You're talking about two different things.
Okay.
If you're saying that morality is the guiding force behind laws, I'm going to disagree with you because it may not be my morals. So you can't legislate those morals. You can say ethically, this is what we should do. We could say that.
Walk me through the difference between ethics and morals.
Well, ethics are based on logic and reason, and you can argue back and forth as to what they are. Morality comes from God. Morality comes from my belief in myself, and you can't legislate that. You can say that ethically, this is
right?
unethical.
You agree
this
with
is
that
an
point, right?
unethical
No.
thing, right? This is unethical to do this, and I can disagree that. No, I think that's absolutely ethical, right?
But wait, hold on. This is stupid for like 1,000 reasons.
I think we should move on.
What?
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. I don't mind arguing. I like
Okay.
arguing.
You can only
I think we all
derive.
probably do.
You can't logically argue for ethics without an ought statement. This is what Hume proved, that like there's an is-ought distinction. You have to come
Oh,
at
it was hot.
huh?
Nothing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you want to argue any normative claims, they have to come from an ought statement. They have to come from some sort of normative claim.
Sure, but
So
if
they-
you make an ought statement that says that you ought not kill someone, right?
Okay.
Okay. And I say I disagree with that. I think that person absolutely ought be killed.
Okay.
What makes your morality better than my morality?
I don't even
Well,
know
hold
how
on.
to handle this. What the
Hold
hell
on,
are we
hold on,
talking about?
Wait.
You have more preference
guns,
claims
so
is going to
that's
be
what-
Yeah, I have more
the
guns, right?
So-
That's how.
so- wait.
But that's actually not morality.
No, but it's
That's
enforcement
peace through
of.
superior firepower.
But you would agree it is enforcement of, right? Like
It is enforcement of, sure.
yeah, right.
But again, you can't, you guys run from this all the time. You keep saying morals, and morals come from a belief in God or a higher power, something beyond yourself that you can appeal to, that I can't simply say, well, I disagree with that, and this is why.
not if it's preference.
Sorry?
Because I think the line you're going down is like it's all preference, right? It's my
Yeah, it's all your
is
preference.
this,
Your preference is not to
that.
kill this guy. My preference
Yeah.
is this guy should be tomato paste right
No,
now.
but if you argue this guy should be tomato paste, I can keep asking why, and at some point I'm going to
Yeah.
get to an axiom of a normative claim. I'm going to get to some
Why I just
aspect
don't
of your
like his
morality.
face. How about that?
For him,
That's-
for him,
that's
it's
my
so
divine
then-
command
so
theory,
then to
Hunter.
you-
It's my preference. I just don't like his face.
No. For him, it's
Yeah,
divine
we
command
haven't
theory.
all agreed
It's just
upon
because
that
God says
preference
it.
Yeah,
is
but
gonna be
you're
the
saying
end-
you're
is the
saying
end ultimate
ethically I
breakdown, is
don't
what you
have
can
to get
convince
this from
people. It's-
divination.
and ultimately, this argument breaks down to what can you convince people to agree to, right? Because as a society, we agreed that like murder, bad, whatever, it was downstream of morals, sure. But that's kind of what like you're getting to, Grid, right? Is that at the end of the day, it's all preference, and if can you legislate your preference, right? That's what it feels like. Because I've heard this, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But
Well, we've agreed right now that murder bad. That if you kill someone, and if you kill someone just because you
I don't
like
think
their
we do
face, that you
agree
get to go
about
to
that
jail
because
for
we
that.
kill people
No,
all the
we did.
time and don't call it murder.
disagree. What?
We just dropped a bunch of bombs on Iran. Do you think people died in that?
I'm sorry. It broke up for me. What did you say?
Jesus Christ.
We literally
that-
just killed a bunch of people in Iran. Do you think that's murder?
Do I think it's murder? I mean, yeah. sure.
Ali's maybe the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah for sure.
No,
But I mean, like,
Ollie's the
but-
exact right person to ask.
But like I think, but here's the thing, right? You'll do that. Like you'll say that you don't agree that it's murder, or do you agree that it's murder?
I'm on the fence because I honestly don't believe that they necessarily needed to be killed. But then again, maybe they did. I haven't heard a case for all.
So it's gonna be like, yeah, well, I think they were murdered, but then I also think that like that would be terrorism too, right? Like just bombing cities in other countries. Like we don't agree.
It's a good
right? But,
argument
like,
to have.
The people in power, however, the people in power get to make those decisions, and we
Sure.
don't necessarily have choice in that.
Right.
So like that. is
Nobody
when,
asked
like,
my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Nobody came in and said, "Hey, dude, what do you think?" And I would have said, "Yeah, I don't know. Let's give him a pass."
Exactly. So we don't really get it. We don't really get a choice, even if we do think it's murder. We don't get
Sure.
to have our preference be
Fair enough.
legislated in that regard.
Fair
But
enough.
that's kind of what you're saying. It's broken down into like right now we kind of agreed to these set of laws.
Mhm.
At least like you're born here, you're not leaving, right? You by choice
Sure.
are choosing to live under these laws. And at the end of the day, those were someone's preference. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
someone's preference one is what it is.
Yeah, someone with the most guns preference one, but that's the
Exactly. Correct.
I think there's a lot of people who don't like choose to continue living in America. It's a little more complicated, right? I'm not sure people can just get up and go to a different country. It's usually a little bit more involved.
I mean,
yeah, seems
you
not
know,
stop
depends on,
anybody else.
Yeah.
depends on how hard
We
you're
get-
trying. You can move to
Yeah.
America if you needed to.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm confused at
I'm
what,
gonna
what
s-
you're
I'm
getting
gonna
at.
s- I'm gonna steer back.
No,
to
I'm
the
I'm
housing.
just okay.
Are
I'm just
expatriates
because
not a thing? Like, I'm confused at what you're getting at.
No, that some people would,
I'm
prefer to leave, but
repudiating this
choose not
idea.
to, or
Yes,
could
I'm
not to.
I'm disagreeing with the general claim that by choosing to stay in America, you thus consent or agree to the way that it's run or any of the other laws thereof. I don't disagree that you can legislate morality, just to be clear.
That's just 'cause
Obviously,
you're a
you can legislate
libertarian,
and
and you
can,
know you
can
have
enforce
to
it.
make the argument
Oh,
that you're a
it's
libertarian
obvious.
to still
That's-
live here.
I think
That's the dumbest
everybody.
thing
I think
ever,
could go
Lactoid.
somewhere else.
I think everybody agrees that you can't just get up and go to a different country. It's not so easy, right?
I mean, once
Like,
again, just
know, you
get
gotta
up
deal
and
with
go. No, if we
immigration,
resort it,
you're
if we
gonna be
resort it to like I'm
deported.
gonna move tomorrow, no. But like if you don't want to live here, if you agree with
if
the
you're
moral
wealthy
of
enough,
the you don't have to be that wealthy.
you don't have
Yeah,
to be
but
that
there
wealthy
is-
to get
there
up and
is
go
a
to another
cap.
country.
There
Once
is a
again,
cap.
Well,
just get up and
technically,
go,
you can
no,
just
but
start
you
walking.
can plan for it over like the course of 3 to 5 years, and you'd be able to get out just fine.
Or you can just
Yes.
walk. You can just walk.
Aha.
Back in the day.
And go to another country of which you fully consent and agree to all the laws, because there are so many of those around.
You have to
I
read
mean,
the fine
maybe you
print.
consent
It
to or
is
agree with
important.
more. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
You may agree with other countries' laws more. Yes.
But more, you might agree with them more, but
Yeah.
you would agree
Yeah,
that
you're not going to
like,
get your
let-
perfect country, right?
Yeah,
Like, no one's gonna
exactly.
get
So
their perfect
you would agree that
legislation.
like I can't go anywhere and avoid taxation, so I don't agree to taxation
Yeah, you
at
can.
all. Which
Go to
country doesn't
Dubai
tax?
right now. Go to Monaco.
I, first,
tomorrow.
think
You're
it's-
a lawyer.
I-
You should be able to make enough money to move. any venue in these
Monaco.
places.
No, I can't fucking
Yes.
move to Monaco.
Why?
What are you? It's expensive as fuck to move to
So
Monaco,
move to
and
Dubai.
the immigration is hard, and
Make
It
more
will
both
money.
cost a lot
immigration
of
and
money to
Dubai.
ship his motorcycle.
So yeah, stop being poor. Make more money.
Stop
and
being
you can
poor.
Get out of your tax.
Stop being
There we
poor.
are.
Right?
There we
Best
are.
point made thus
It's a
far.
skill
That's a good
issue.
point. Yeah.
There
That's a
we
good one.
You're a
are.
lawyer. You
Stop
can
being
make
poor.
more money. No.
Ultimately,
I'm
look,
being so serious.
I love it. Ultimately, the left wing arguments shift to the right wing. Love it or leave it. Stop being poor.
I've always said the best way to debate you is to get to the right of you, and if you get to the right of you, you're in gold.
Look, I like
Yeah.
you know, if that's where we want to ground ourselves. Sure.
It would cost him a lot to ship his motorcycle, though.
I
I'm
think,
gonna be honest.
Grid has enough
Chronology.
money to where if he wants to leave, he can leave, right?
Grid probably does, yeah.
And so he's choosing.
Well,
to
I own
live here.
houses in China.
Yeah, see, but he's choosing to live
there you go.
here because he's okay.
Oh,
with
yeah.
us. He's okay. He's
Oh,
okay
yeah.
with what we've agreed
So
upon.
he should move to a more free country like China.
Yeah.
No. I mean, once again, just like when you have money, everywhere is free.
You know,
You have enough money, you're
that's a
free
solid point,
everywhere.
Ollie. That there is. I listened to this this guy's speech the other night about how traffic laws in California are ridiculous because they're not enforced on poor people like ever, but they are enforced on people that can actually pay the fines and everything. It's like but the laws truly don't apply to the rich people because they just pay the fine and keep going. Like they don't give a fuck, right? They just keep growing, and so the people in the middle that appear wealthy but actually aren't, they get fucked.
If you're
'Cause they
rich,
got-
bankruptcy is the flex, not a bad
That's a
position.
flex.
One of the things they do, this is one of the few things that I sort of agree with that they do in Sweden, but sort of, but not really, is fines are as a percentage of your income. So, like if you're rich and you get a ticket, it's like an obscene amount of money, because the expectation is it's actually like it's supposed to be
Based.
a deterrent.
Yeah.
Now the problem I have with it is, on one hand, I like the idea of like no matter what, like this is a punishment for you. You shouldn't be doing this. But on the other hand, I do think rich people are superior to the rest of us, and so deserve to be able to break the law more often than the rest of us do.
Speak for yourself, the rest of us.
So you think Epstein is superior
Rich
to you,
people are
or
better
was
than
superior to
you.
Lactoid?
I have one exception, and that's Epstein.
What about Diddy? What about Diddy?
One exception, Diddy.
Diddy.
Two
Easy.
exceptions.
That's
Two
Easy.
exceptions. Diddy and
We
Epstein.
just keep adding exceptions.
One more will come. Yeah. Just,
Julian Maxwell.
His moral compass is adjustable.
yeah. It's
He
adjustable.
was okay with Julian Maxwell. He was not okay with got it.
Just
She's kind of a baddie, though.
Could I
What?
steer?
What?
True.
Could I
Yeah,
steer
she
back
was.
to that?
She was.
I
No,
do it.
I want to switch back. And
How
I like
desperate
to
are
promise,
you?
but like,
No,
my
she
friend
wasn't
Randy said
ugly.
something
She wasn't
absurd
ugly.
here.
And them biddies were doing
Wait.
work. All right.
Hell
Was
yeah.
she?
Hell yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
She
God,
she had some
no.
biddies, buddy.
Okay.
And she's a ride or die. So
True.
Well, there's
True.
that.
True.
Okay, fine. I'll move past this. But like,
Listen, if the Mossad is
Hey,
great at finding good-looking
Corey?
women to
Y'all
do their
thinking about
work, all right?
protecting, not snitching on Jillian Maxwell thing. On the
So
kid.
we've devolved to talking about chicks that'll go to jail for you. That's
Hell
that's
yeah.
what this conversation is about.
What better way to drive down housing prices? Like you said before,
I actually walk outside my backyard.
that's what
and
we're
buy
doing.
a
before you're gonna buy, walk into the neighborhood,
So-
pop a
so-
couple
so
off,
we
you
can-
know,
we can bring this back. Hunter, zoning. What
cut down
this-
20,000.
This legislation, you said it doesn't do anything for
Hunter.
zoning. What the fuck does zoning have to do with the fact that there's already abandoned apartments or housing or like all these abandoned homes? Can you explain that?
Yeah,
There's
sure.
there's
So-
mad abandoned homes that like apparently I can't buy and live in or fix or whatever the fuck. Why?
Yeah, so abandoned housing, specifically when we're talking about abandoned housing, oftentimes we say that there are more vacant homes in America than homeless people. There are 10 times the amount. This is a completely warped statistic. Specifically, you're saying abandoned and they're saying vacant, and those are a very big distinction. When it comes to vacant houses, I could show you the data analysis on it, but largely vacant homes can be split up into 3 different sections. The first section are houses that are on sale or on the market, but are vacant because no one's moved in there yet. I don't think that that should count as somewhere that homeless people should move into, because obviously that is taking a strain off of housing costs because they're on the market. People will be moving in there soon. Second are seasonal homes. And the third are abandoned homes. Those abandoned homes are largely in places where homeless people are not, places in the middle of the United States that no one wants to move to. And they are also so depreciated that they're a hazard to human beings, so that you shouldn't move in because there's like chemical waste or
Well, as
there's
opposed to
a
the
reason it
street,
was
right?
abandoned.
Like
What?
we're
So-
saying we're
so-
saying this as like as opposed to street living, right? Like I mean, some people take
Yeah.
the chemicals.
which is probably better than a lot of these abandoned houses. To
Right.
to
And
give
so-
Hunter
and so
credit
these
here.
are-
Genuinely, yeah, I would prefer them
Yeah.
living on the street than these houses.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
so,
because
like,
there's so many has like black mold, unstable
Yeah.
floorboards,
Asbestos.
shit falling in on you. All like there is genuine risks with a lot
Okay.
of this dilapidated housing for sure.
Fair, but
Yeah.
like the issue is I hear this all the time that like the issue with the affordability in the housing crisis is that the zoning doesn't allow for building new homes, right? Like
Yeah,
that's,
we're
no
super
apartment.
underdeveloped.
Yeah, the NIMBY thing that you can't build apartment complexes, so on and so forth. But then like
Yeah.
the issue for me is
Okay.
if someone builds a new apartment,
Mhm.
that's going to cost a lot of money, and the rent isn't going to be any more affordable. It's going to be less. A new apartment building isn't going to be cheaper, right? It's only going to be
So
more
it drives down
expensive.
rent.
No, yeah, it drives
still-
down
it's-
rent because hold on. Let me explain.
Supply
this real
demand.
quick. Because
Okay, so
wait.
yeah.
I live
Go ahead.
live in a super new apartment complex. I actually just moved. This is
Flex.
this is a brand new. It's like a 15-minute city. It's fucking awesome. Okay, but it's way more expensive than where my previous place was. But here's the thing: I moved out of my previous place, meaning that they are going to have fewer people. There's more spots that are opening up in other
in the quote unquote
areas.
cheaper apartment.
In the cheaper apartments because I'm
Yeah,
moving
but wait,
out.
okay, that's beautiful. I love how you think that's how that works.
Okay.
Because when I was bouncing around in Detroit, there's a bunch of new development in Detroit. And it's very nice and it's fucking expensive, right?
Right.
What happens is when the people move out of these older you moved out of your place, it was 1,600 when you were living there.
Uh-huh.
It's 1,750 for the next guy that's moving in.
Yeah. Now, why
So,
is
like,
that?
so-
why
so
would
it's-
that be? Why do they not have competitive prices?
Well, they don't need to have that is the
Right.
that is the
I agree. They
competitive
don't
price.
need competitive prices, and this
Yeah,
is
so-
largely because they don't have enough competitors.
Well,
if
even
there's
if you
more-
had
there's more open
competitors,
units-
when you build the new units, the prices are going to be higher. So it's not competitive. It's not going to bring the rent down. Like the
Yes,
new
it will,
units
because
are going to be more
I'm-
expensive.
Because
and
there's
the people aren't going to
there's
have their rent
filtering.
deflate.
It's called filtering in economic principles. It's the idea that I am moving out of
to the more
older
expensive
place.
apartment,
Yes.
which
Yeah,
which
exactly.
drives the prices up because look, we have this new
What?
development that costs 1,900, so we can't charge 1,600 here. We're going to charge 1,750.
What are you talking about? First off, they're going to have vacancies in their apartment, and they're going to want to fill those. And if they can't fill those quickly enough, they're going to lower the prices.
Usually
That's why.
they
Wait, hold
can.
on.
Usually most places don't have problems filling
I
their
agree.
vacancies.
Why would that be? Why would people be flooding into that fucking spot as quickly as possible? Because holy shit, a new place just opened up. I gotta move in there right now. If it took like 3 or 4 months to fill these spots, don't you think that people will start dropping those prices to start incentivizing people to come and live in those places?
what I'm saying is like, okay, so like I'm looking at like places to rent in Michigan right now, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like you can't get anything for less than $1,700 that's worth a damn. And if you hit the 1,500 mark, you might as well be living in like the actual ghetto. It's pretty fucking bad. These houses are bad. They haven't been renovated since like the 90s, early 2000s. Right. But it's like 1,700 is like the new average, is kind of what I'm saying.
Okay.
And so it's like all this new stuff that's going up doesn't seem to be making things more affordable. It just seems to be like the new stuff is more expensive, and then the old stuff has to keep is just getting, because there's nowhere else to live. Right, like if you want to live in like
because they're not
a
building
city,
enough.
if you want to live in like a decent city or a clean area, it's just like this is the new minimum.
This is okay. Like
Okay,
do you want to see like 1,000 stats on this? Because like this is the most.
Yeah, this is just empirical.
I understand the stats, but like I understand that there's stats to it, but then there's also the lived experience of like people can't find rent or afford their rent.
I fully agree, which is what I'm saying. Unless you live in fucking Houston or Japan, yeah, prices are going the fuck up because people don't allow building to occur. Building is illegal to build in most cities. You can't upzone
in most suburbs.
No, in most anywhere.
Well, hold on. I maybe I missed something here, but I mean, Japan housing market right now is actually pretty flexible. I've looked into buying some houses there.
Sorry.
Yeah. But, no, hold on. You're right, because Japan has a declining population, so they're having more houses on the market.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot.
Once
of
again,
houses
supply and demand. Right. I mean, ultimately,
And-
the price of living, the price of housing is. Can you compare the amount of places available and the amount of people that want to live there? Right. And obviously, you take into account the financial ability of the people that want to live there.
That's surface level. Let me tell you what we got going on here in Nashville.
Whatever the fuck's deeper. All right, let's hear it.
Yeah. Let's. So what we got going on here like in Nashville is
it's just going to be other
always better
supply
when you
and
go
demand.
deeper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, this was about a year and a half ago. They figured out that there were about 18,000 surplus apartments in Nashville. The reason is not that there aren't people to move into them, or that people that that don't need housing or or not even that people couldn't afford them. They just built so many of them that people just don't want to live there now, and people don't necessarily want to live in an apartment in the city when they can move outside of the city and commute in and live maybe a little cheaper and definitely maybe a little better. So what they've got all of these apartments, but the banks aren't foreclosing on them because they obviously don't want to lose money. The contractors will not reduce the price of per unit for rent or to buy them because they lose money. So they're just in this holding pattern of not allowing people to live there because
they're gonna have to drop the prices at some point.
At some point, it's gonna come down like a house of cards.
Yeah,
and
they're gonna have to.
That takes out an entire level of basically pricing structure in the community, because now a 1,200 square foot, well, not 1,200, probably 1,000 square foot apartment is going to be, it's not going to be $4,000 a month anymore. It's going to be $2,000.
They're going to try to
yes,
sell
well,
that
you
building.
you
Wait, they're gonna
literally
try to sell the building before they take the loss
Because
on
of low
rent,
demand.
aren't they?
no, you literally just described like a bubble. That's what that is. Like,
Yeah, it
if
is.
a
That's
bubble,
exactly what's going on.
everybody's
And it's in
predicting the
every
price is
major
going to be a
city in
certain
New York.
way. I don't think it's in every major city, but maybe I'm
Well,
wrong.
we overbuilt. We overbuilt. Well, maybe not New York. but we
I'm sure
overbuilt.
there's some places. I know, and specifically, you brought up Nashville. I know Nashville. I know, for at least historically, in the past like 5 years, there's been massive demand in Nashville, and that's driven up housing prices dramatically. And so it wouldn't surprise me that there's a lot of intention of, okay, let's build more housing there to try to kind of cash in on this while also bringing the housing price down. And then maybe they overestimated it.
Right.
Maybe they built up more than they expected.
Or too
maybe
luxury
they charge too
apartments.
much, or too luxury, or there's all sorts of things that can contribute to the bubble. But at the end of the day, like, unless they want to lose more money, they're going to have to rent out those apartments, or they're going to have to sell them. And if they have to sell them at a loss or rent them at a loss, they're going to be renting them cheaper to meet market demand, which lowers housing prices. Ultimately, just like any other good, housing is very responsive to supply and demand. Of course. That's all we're talking about. And so,
Yeah,
if we can't
is
address the demand part,
the demand to live places is you're never going to necessarily be able to meet it, right? People have to live places. People want to live close to their families, so on and so forth. But like, that's what I'm saying is like the issue is you guys are saying that like, so there isn't enough supply, so that we're going to build more supply, and that should drive prices down.
Yes.
Right.
does.
So I've never experienced prices go down. Maybe
That's like
maybe
Well,
prices
I mean,
stay
But
same.
that's
maybe
like saying
prices
I've
With-
stay
never
the
with
same.
experienced
inflation, they go down.
evolution. That's like
Well,
saying
hold
I've never
on, hold on.
experienced evolution. It's like shit. Sometimes this takes such a long time, or such like a macro analysis
it's
that really you
maybe
have
just
to
where you're at, right?
test
Like
this empirically.
when, just for example, I was looking at properties today in the Mesa, Arizona area, and in all the way up to Prescott. They're down 3% a year right now in home value. They were pushed way up because you had people from California and New York and other places like that moving there. A lot of people from Michigan, cold places,
High
like want
demand.
to move to the desert. And then of course they figure out that it's the fucking desert and nobody wants to live there. And then they move back, right?
Demand drops.
Demand drops. And for about the demand was really up high for several years right after COVID. And then it's sinking and it's losing 3% per year in home value. Here in my hometown, same kind of deal. We had a lot of people move in from out of state, New York, California, all over the place. Drove the housing prices up ridiculously. And now they're settling back down. And as a matter of fact, I've got a property that 2 years ago, according to like Zillow and a bunch of the other, which is irrelevant, doesn't mean anything, but it was worth about 800 grand. They got it at like 300 today, which is about what it is actually worth. I mean, there is an actual value to that property. It's about $300,000.
Yeah, so it's dropped down to its actual value. So it's
Well,
not
it'll
necessarily that
go
you
back
lost,
up because
right?
it's it's land, and land they're not making any more of it
But that's
except
the
in
issue,
Saudi
right?
Arabia.
It's not that you kind of like it drops back down to like equal for you most time. Hopefully you break even to like is the worst situation. But like, if something jumps up 300%, but then drops down 100%, that's not really like being less. That's just.
But it can happen though, because what happens is people like they say, well, I'm okay living an hour and a half from Nashville and commuting in because I get this house, and this house is like $500,000.
And that opens up housing in the urban area.
And all of a sudden, this a place where the houses are 180 grand are all of a sudden $500,000, and then people go, yeah, man, it really sucks to drive an hour and a half into work every day. So then they go to sell it, and of course the value goes back down to that 180 or lower, and it actually you lose a bunch of money. That's real estate speculation 101, normal shit. And people do lose a lot of money. Now, people who just don't allow that to happen and who have absolutely no feeling about a house. Like I look at a house, I don't care where it is. I don't care what it's like. I'm looking at a numerical value and just factoring a bunch of different things in, and that determines whether or not I'm going to buy the house. I'm not looking at it going, wow, that house is pretty. Oh, I like the neighborhood. Oh, it's got a good school for my kid. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at how far is it from this? How old is it? Is it up to code? When's the last time the roof was done? I think there's a whole list of things that I give a shit about, and the rest I don't, because I'm looking at it as an asset, something that I'm going to be trading in. And that's just a mindset issue, really. I want you all to realize something, that if you guys went out and took out a 50-year mortgage, and that sounds insane, right? But if you just paid on it for the next 5 years and then sold it, or even refinanced it into like a 15-year, you'd save yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest, and you would have a very cheap payment for that period of time. And that's going to fuck rent even worse. Because when somebody can buy a house for cheaper than they can rent a house for, they're going to do it, or they ought to do it.
50 years, yeah.
Well, I think that would also push rentals a little bit lower, right? Because now the rentals are trying to.
It could, but there's a floor on rentals because we have costs, we have overhead, and we're just not going to let it go.
No, I hear that, but even couldn't you buy rentals and then on a 50-year mortgage?
I'm waiting for that to happen. I'm waiting to.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Right now you can't. So, I mean, this. Okay, so you understand what part of what really happened to make all of this real estate bullshit happen is Obama and Biden, when they were in office, they removed the controls on the bank that said that you couldn't use like Lactoid as just a home buyer. He could not go out and buy an investment property on a conventional mortgage. he had to use a commercial loan, which costs it's a higher down payment, it's a higher standard for income, and you have to have a track record of having
I
to
didn't
do
know
it.
that.
Those controls were removed. And so what happens is Lactoid, who does nothing about fucking real estate, but he's got a little bit of money, and everybody says, hey man, buy rentals. You'll make money. Your mortgage is $1,300. You rent it for $1,500. You pocket a couple of hundred every month. Your mortgage is paid for in 10 years. You have a house for free, right? That's a sale, or 30 years. That doesn't happen because there's a lot more costs involved, but it's a good line. It got people to buy a lot of houses, and it got people who ought not be ought not own 6 houses owning 6 houses. And that's what caused that's between 2005 2008. That's what caused that whole mortgage.
Thanks, Obama and Biden.
Well, I blame honestly. I blame the banks for that because if you remove the controls on the banks are going to do exactly what they're going to do. So when Trump was in office the first term, he put the controls back on, and I actually. We were checking with one of our bankers and we're like, hey, we would like to do this house on a conventional because we might actually move into it. We don't want a commercial loan on this house. And they're like, no, can't do it. You already own a house and you can't buy another house. You'd have to live in this house for a year before you could rent it out or anything, right? And we didn't want to do that. So we went to a commercial loan, no problem, it's no big deal. But I kid you not, when Biden was elected, my banker called me about within the first 3 months and said, hey, that loan you were talking about, yeah, we can do that now if you want to. Just come down. We'll take care of it. Because they removed the controls once again. And it's a very, I mean, it stimulates the economy because people all of a sudden will start buying houses left and right that they ought not buy. And it creates a lot of volatility, which I like volatility because I make money every time that happens. But when you're messing with this in this way and with banking, because banks are going to make money regardless. They're just going to make money every time they turn around, so they don't care. One of the things we've noticed is that we haven't seen the same number of auctions. We see what houses that are in default that should be foreclosed on that are not getting foreclosed on. We see a lot of different things and going on that I don't understand. We think that the banks have come up with a way of wholesaling the houses on bad mortgages out, and that benefits me too because I like that.
All right, Raid.
Sure. I want to go ahead.
Grade,
go first.
Grade.
Yeah.
You have to understand that a lot of people are worried about their rent increasing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say the mechanism should be in place in order to affect that?
You can't put a mechanism in place to lock rent down.
What? There's no way that you can lower rent?
How would you do that?
Build more housing.
Build more.
That's
Thank
the way
you.
to do it.
Build more housing.
Yeah, you could build more houses, but okay, all right.
You guys
I like your energy. I like the energy. Let's examine that for a minute.
Don't make me be 1-1 with Grid over here.
More construction workers.
Let me examine that
Let's
for
hear
a
it.
minute.
Let's hear it.
Let's
Why would that
examine
not
that from a
lower
reality-based point of view.
Examining.
Build more houses. I love it. Love the energy. I'm actually trying to build some houses right now.
Excellent.
What do you think in 2021 or 2022, a 3-2 on a eighth of an acre lot, which is just a standard McMansion? What do you think the build cost on that was? Just
I have no clue.
round
That
number.
Probably
Okay.
depends on the location, right?
As well.
Well, no, just the build cost. Build cost. You already own the lot. You're building. You're putting a
Wait,
house
the
on
build
it.
cost is the same per state?
More or less.
I mean, yeah, dude.
Lumber costs what lumber costs. Labor costs what labor costs.
Okay.
Labor doesn't
Interesting.
cost what labor costs. It's going to be different based on the minimum wage.
Yeah, like wouldn't it be more expensive?
Hold
like,
on. Did you just say
can
minimum wage?
Well, hold on. I can imagine
Yes?
like if you're
Am
gonna
I
be building
crazy?
in Long
If
Island
you build in fucking Utah
versus Mississippi.
They're not getting minimum wage
Versus
to build
California.
typically.
That's the
His-
dumbest thing I've ever
we're not
heard.
getting minimum wage
I don't have
to
a
build it.
single minimum wage person Anywhere.
No, okay, but prevailing wage. Okay, minimum wage was a bad thing.
Fine.
Prevailing wage, right? In Long
Prevailing
Island,
wage is
or-
better.
or-
Yes, that's
yeah,
better.
yeah,
that's
yeah,
better.
yeah.
Right,
In
so
like
just
Manhattan,
Yeah, like on average, just say it's the
Yeah,
same,
on
right? Like,
average, it's going to
just
cost for a
throw a number
3.2
out,
back then was about, and the lumber cost could vary a little bit, but more or less, you're looking at about $125,000 to $130,000 to put a house up. That house would be then
Wait,
worth
when?
about 300, huh?
For the
When?
McMansion?
21, 22, 23 in that area.
Okay.
oh,
In
You're
anywhere in
saying
the United States. In any,
it's
any 50
under 200,000
To build
You're-
a
hold on,
McMansion?
Hold on, under 150,000 to build.
For the build
Why
cost.
couldn't I go do that?
Are you a contractor?
No, but I know where they live. I
Yeah,
can, like,
right.
go-
Okay.
Not
Do you
a
know how to
threat, Michael?
negotiate with them? Can you do the?
Oh wait, sorry.
You know how to make this
Are you
work?
saying are you saying just the material costs are that?
No, I'm talking about a carpenter crew. With your framers, plumbers,
Yeah.
all of these guys. Yeah,
That
Why
costs
couldn't
a
I hire
developer-
them for 130?
you could. Why don't you?
But I couldn't. I can't build a house for 130,000.
Okay, well, I'm
That's the
sorry that you
dumbest
No,
thing
a
can't
I've
do
ever
that.
heard.
McMansion.
I'm sorry
Like
that you
a
can't do
fucking
that.
McMansion. Not some pee-wee little.
McMansions aren't that big.
McMansions are cookie cutter. They do them in 6 weeks.
God,
For
you're so dumb,
120?
Lacroix. How come you cannot see?
No,
one's
wait,
done
stop.
one.
I don't know. I don't know if
the
it's
time frame that's
120, but
freaking
they're
people
well, how
out.
much do you think they are? Wait, I don't know if it's
How much do you? Oh,
120.
fuck! You guys are insane. When a
Well,
house
I'll
was
give it-
$300,000, when a house was $300,000, do you honestly think
Yeah,
it cost
like-
$300,000 to build it? No, it cost $125,000 to build that
We
house.
got to make money on the house.
We understand
That's
that part.
insane.
Okay,
So
so, just like,
I-
what do you
stop,
guys
stop,
think the
stop.
house
I
costs to
understand-
build? Just
Okay,
go off of that.
I'm gonna guess, and if I Google, I'm gonna Google what the actual cost of a new construction is. I think I'm gonna be right. I would guess.
I've already got it
Currently-
in front of me.
All right,
new
well,
construction
okay.
about 200.
I haven't looked it up. I haven't looked it up. I'm just gonna guess.
Yeah,
I think that if I wanted to build a standard 2,000 square foot
He
house,
said mansion, by the way. Standard
no,
mansion.
no, yeah, I'm not even talking about mansion.
It's
I'm not
a
even talking about
term.
mansion. I'm talking about like a 2,000 square foot fucking suburbaville house. If I wanted to build that, if I wanted to go and hire all the contractors to put the whole thing all together, I'm guessing it'd run me $315,000.
right
right,
now,
Prime?
right now, or back then, but right now, you think a house is like 350,000.
Sorry, wait, hold on one second. Sorry. What was the cost that you specifically?
He said
there?
315.
I apologize.
315
No. To do what exactly?
to build about 2,000 square foot house.
You
in
own the
suburbia.
land.
In the suburbs.
2000. Okay.
Yeah,
so
just
I'm just gonna,
assume the lot
I'm-
cost is out of it.
So okay. I'm gonna read you what it says here, and it's above. This is a 3,000 to 5,000, but like we can scale
Yeah.
the cost here.
Okay,
Right.
Fine, a little bit
So
more.
it says, building a McMansion, typically defined as a large mass-produced home ranging from 3,000 to 5,000 plus square feet, generally costs between 1 million and 2.5 million for the structure alone. And then it, it goes more.
To be
into
fair, I
how
said
it's-
2,000 square feet. Okay,
Gray just
I
doesn't
was.
They
know
know-
what the
yeah,
number of
well-
zeros in a million. That's all. He's just off by an
Yeah,
order of
yeah.
magnitude,
And
you
then
know?
like
I
it
am
changes
telling you,
from,
my build
I
cost
think
is not
he
that
might be
much.
the only
I'm
millionaire
literally
here.
building those now.
infrastructure.
You're a developer.
In the Midwest, in rural areas, it says
I thought you were a
for the structure
landlord.
And the land would be from
Why would you do both?
750,000 to 1.2 million for the structure
Okay.
and the land.
Okay.
Well,
So, I
land
mean-
is what land costs right now. Land.
the-
I mean, right now we're looking at anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 an acre, depending on where it's at.
Okay,
Because
what-
look, when you're right. When the 300,000, when they're selling that, which I mean, for new builds, it's going to be more than that. But if you're if like, obviously they have to make a profit, and also, but if you're paying contractors to build it for you, they're also going to have to make a profit, right? I don't.
Right.
In what way? 120,000 would be crazy.
All right, so on my property, or right next to my property that we're building on, they built it's a fucking. Hang on, I will actually just pull it up and see.
And to be clear, I want to be clear. That was from Google's AI mode, just to be clear,
So
right?
so wait,
it's
so
from
if
the-
it's so okay,
be
so
honest.
if it's 1 to 2 million to build a McMansion, how much is it to build an apartment complex?
Millions.
more.
That-
Or
that's
renovate,
like
or
1,000.
renovate, right?
Right.
Millions.
And then
Much
and
lower.
so
Yeah.
like once again, these people that are building the rent, you're making the city better, right? You're adding more to the city, you're so on and so forth. I just
Okay.
don't see how the property value goes. Why the property value would go
315
down.
was probably low.
Wait,
honestly.
Ali, how
probably
are
should've
you
said
not
higher.
understanding that when the supply increases, the costs go down? That's
Because
I'm
the
like
sup-
I'm
because-
lost how
be-
that's
be-
lost.
because I think like part of this equation is that like we're acting like there's a set amount of people, as like we build more housing, it takes like 5 years, but then over those 5 years we have 5 years more of people that are renting, right? There's 8 new 18-year-olds every single one of those years, right? There's more people to rent.
Yeah, but
to.
there's old
Well, it
people
would
that die.
Right. It would obviously
Yeah,
be
but not as
relative to the
much.
population. Wait, hold on. It would obviously be relative to the population. If the
Right.
population is increasing as well, then sure, yeah, we're going to need to increase relative to that number as well.
This is why
Just-
Trump said when you deport the illegals, housing prices are going to go down because
Right,
there's fewer
because
people.
supply is lower. Is
I mean,
or-
yeah, if you're talking about like
or
how many
demand is
millions
lower.
of people,
But
times
you're
like
also losing out on a
millions,
lot of construction crews.
Exactly.
so prices are just gonna go by. It all equals out, is what
It
I'm
doesn't
saying.
just all equal out.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
it's
saying
just
it. Okay,
there's
you're
just a
getting
lot of
really
mechanisms.
angry, but like once again, I'm coming from a place where I own my house. I'm not really worried, right? I'm just kind of seeing what the fuck's
Wait, hold
going
on, Ollie. I have a question.
Yeah,
Your housing sorry, the cost of your house is increasing. Yes, the worth
the
of your
cost
house.
of my house.
The worth of
Like
your
the-
house is increasing.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, cool. Because it's an appreciating asset, right?
Yes.
Do you not look at that and go, "What the fuck is going on?" Because if you drove a car,
No, it
and
makes
the
sense that a
price
house
was
is an
the-
appreciating asset. though.
Why? Why could it?
Well, okay, considering that if you're supposed to take care of your house.
Because I have an
if the
explanation for
neighborhood-
why it's
wait.
depreciating. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I mean, hopefully, one, if the neighborhood continues to grow in a positive like trajectory, right? You're gonna get better schools. You're gonna get better, the taxes are gonna go up. You're gonna get better roads, better parks, so on and so forth. So, man, obviously, your house is gonna be worth more than the thing that you bought. It's a house. I don't see it as a car, right? Something that should be better maintained. It's something that is going to go up in value with like the community and the surrounding area getting better.
But largely speaking, the community
Like
doesn't need to
gentrification,
get better.
unfortunately, is going to be the answer, right? Gentrification would make your
Nice,
house
gentrification.
be more.
Depends on what we mean by gentrification.
The neighborhood
often-
becoming
oftentimes
better.
gentrification
There's a
is
positive
really,
trajectory to your community. That to
That's
me.
not
would-
gentrification. Just to be super clear on the
I
definition.
understand, but I'm
You
saying
don't
like,
understand.
no, I do understand. I'm saying if your community gets better over time, right? Then your house is obviously going to be worth more because your community is more desirable to live in.
That's
It
gentrification.
makes sense. Yes,
No,
that's what I'm saying.
gentrification.
Obviously,
is
gentrification is when you go into like
specifically-
bad neighborhoods and you try to buy them out and push the people out of the neighborhoods. I understand that, but I'm saying like in the
Yeah, push them
simplest
out by
terms-
making it better.
Yeah, in this, yeah, in the
Yes.
yeah. Well, no, it's by making it more expensive.
No,
but I'm
no, no,
saying
no,
in
no,
And
no,
how
no,
do they
no.
do that?
Well, by buying it out, right, making it better.
And doing
quote
what?
unquote.
Yeah, how do they make it better?
Well, I mean, you got according to you guys, buying it out, making it better should make rent cheaper. So
That's exactly my point. That's why gentrification
Overall,
is
it does. Overall, it does.
No, no, no. That's why
Yeah.
gentrification is a really poor term. Gentrification is the specific use of buying up an old, emaciated apartment building and then renovating it. It's not when you build new housing. It's when you're renovating older apartments.
Well, when
You
most
can
people are
al-
talking,
you can also
when-
build new
yeah,
housing
when you're
in an
building
area.
but then that
neighborhood-
doesn't
people
gentrify
buying
that
broke
doesn't
neighborhood-
gentrify local residents because in fact more
It
openings
can.
will occur for them.
Yeah.
Because
No,
it
no, no.
filters that process out
Okay.
for them.
I know what you're saying, and you're like, okay, you're like partially correct, but in very like micro scenarios, this doesn't always hold.
I understand.
You can like through certain housing builds and overall area like improvements,
Gentrify neighborhoods,
you
yeah.
can gentrify neighborhoods. Now, does this still overall decrease housing supply across the board because you're building new housing? Yes. The areas that like there's other areas that become cheaper for sure. And I agree with you that there's also a little bit of a counter effect here of when you build more housing in an area that also that has a lowering effect, like a lowering pressure
Right.
on the housing price as well. I'm just saying that you just got to be a little bit careful because you can, depending on the house you build in a very like localized area, potentially increase the price.
But yeah,
But
so
then
you were saying
also
I was
low, but
wrong
then
about
there
that,
would be
Hunter?
filtering. There would be filtering into a different city. Then
Yes,
wherever they're moving
100%.
from, wherever they're
Yes.
moving from, you're essentially going to be helping someone more.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
correct,
cool.
correct.
So then I think that that's a poor use of gentrification. We should specifically be looking at when we're renovating apartments rather than just building new apartments. That distinction matters a lot to me.
Well, if you're building new apartments, the idea is that the surrounding apartments should be getting renovated as well, right?
Why?
Like you're not gonna
Yeah,
have because you're
not
not
at
gonna
all.
because you're not gonna have new builds that are worth a lot of money next to shit builds that are worth no money,
Yes, you
and
do
people
all
just
the
moving into
time.
the new builds while living next to the shit builds.
Hold on,
That's-
hold on. Of course that happens. You have luxury apartments in a thriving city, and you have a shitty. You have like 2 blocks away. You have shitty apartments. Of course that happens. And those shitty apartments those prices will go down because all of the people who were moving there, who wanted to live in nicer places, will move out of that, driving demand down.
Once again, that's the idea that it drives
if they can
demand
afford
down.
to.
There's the wait. So most apartment complexes have like waiting lists of people who want to move in.
Yes,
and
because
they're
supply is
denying
low.
them. And they're denying them. So the people that move out, there is a huge supply of people that want to move in. I don't know where you think the supply of people wanting to move into places ever decreases,
Wait, hold on.
or that the demand ever decreases for wanting to.
Have
live
you heard
anywhere.
about Gary, Indiana? There are situations in which people want to stop living in an area, like people
If the
flee
area,
certain
if
areas.
the area goes down, right, then the property values ultimately go down. But that's not
Yes.
that's not like
Gary,
legislation
Indiana is
making-
very
that's not-
affordable
Wait,
right
wait,
now.
wait. That's not legislations making things more affordable. That's just the city being on a negative downslope. Like you can't help that,
Right,
right?
but the
If people
reason,
are leaving the entire city, if the city
Yes.
is fucked,
but look at the effect, right? So yes, people leave Gary. Like Gary's population has dropped by like more than half. It's a travesty, and there's not all these people anymore. So there is a lot of houses compared to the amount of people that are there.
Yeah.
Compared to, and so because of that, housing prices in Gary.
yeah. And how
Are
many
very
people are
cheap.
moving to Gary, Indiana, willingly, not
Very
because
few
they
people.
have to, because of the affordability, because they got pushed out from whatever neighborhood.
Wait,
into whatever
but
neighborhood,
wait,
right?
it's a
all you're
self-correcting
doing
problem.
all you're doing is funneling these. All you're doing is funneling the brokest people around. That's all that's happening. It's not becoming more affordable for them. It's just you're funneling them around to honestly, they're going to end up paying a little bit more rent than they were in the previous place. You just
Well,
funnel-
let's
you're
look
just
here.
Wait,
Let me make a hypo for you because I know you love my hypos.
I
if there
actually-
was-
They're the
If
worst of them all. The
Oh,
worst.
You should-
I I've got good hypos. I did good on the LSAT.
Go
No,
ahead.
for those we need Fabian here.
I
for
got
the
a really high
best
LSAT
hypos.
score. Okay,
Holla at me.
let's say there was one house
Mhm.
Yes.
and no other houses could be built. How much money do you think people would pay? How much value? What it would cost to buy this house? Do you think?
I would spend
Are there
$20 billion.
Are there huts and tents and things, or what's going on? What's
There's
this like?
nothing.
living-
It's either
There's
this
nothing.
house or you have to live in the fucking trees.
I
Like
think
you got to
people
live
would
on
be
the
like
like,
trees.
we would just have
on
to
the
constantly killing
pavement.
each other. People would just be constantly.
Yeah,
killing
it's
each
like
other
Mad
to live in
Max.
this
It's
house.
like Mad
Yeah.
Max. It's awful.
Worse than Mad Max.
But everybody respects this one rule, which is whoever owns the house, they own the house.
Oh, okay.
What do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think this house is gonna like sell for?
Sell for? I don't think this person's ever gonna be able to sell this house.
What do you mean ever be able to sell the house? Of course he can sell the house.
There's not gonna be a.
He goes,
price
"Who
that
wants this
anyone
house?"
can-
And everyone screams, "Please,
no,
please, I want the house."
This is Lactoid's hypothetical, right? I don't think he's ever going to be sell the house, because why would I sell the house that I'm living in when there's no other
Yeah.
houses?
Did you ever
building?
think
So
of
So
that?
there is going to be no
Oh.
price. It's going to be an
Oh.
infinite. amount.
Yeah. So you would
Yeah.
have.
Dollars.
Yeah, you
Millions
didn't
of
think of that,
dollars.
did you, Lactoid?
No. Hold up. I can work
Why
with
would
this
I
answer.
sell my house? The only
I
house.
I can work with you. I can work.
I
with this
build
answer.
another house. I move
So,
to that house.
No.
You can't
no.
build houses in this hypothetical.
You can't
The-
build
the,
houses.
the,
houses
the
in this
original
hypothetical.
price drops for the second
Yeah.
house because I built another
Yeah.
house.
So what
Wait,
I
now
would
you get it.
If there are no
Hold
houses,
on.
you're gonna
I'm
start
getting there.
building
I'm
them.
getting there. I'm trying to get there. We're gonna get to the second house in a second. Right now, we're on the first house. Okay,
The first house.
we're on house number one.
Am I doing
This
you
is
proud?
stop.
It's Schrodinger's house.
No, it's not.
I'm questioning that LSAT
It's
score
a
now.
new
Wrong
It's a new
hypothetical.
invention called
Corey.
housing, and this
Oh,
is the first
God.
one. And now we haven't
Okay.
gotten to the second.
Guys,
one.
I know. It's very
Yeah,
exciting.
go ahead, Lactoid.
I'm
Let's
very,
do this.
very, everyone's very animated. I understand.
No, I'm just answering.
So, in the first house,
your
in
world, I'm just
order-
living in it.
In order to convince the guy to sell the house, you would need to get him to part with the house. You would need to give him such sum of money that would convince him to go out and live in the trees with the rest of the animals, right?
Yeah, for
You have to
sure.
give him a fuck ton of money.
Are
He's
there
going to demand.
businesses- Is there things to do
he's
with
gonna-
this
stop,
money?
Stop. No,
Is there
please,
shit?
just follow.
Are there things to
Fine,
do with
yeah,
the money?
Yes, there's things to do with the money.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Awesome. As long as
Yes.
there's
There
places
are
to go on
Ferraris
vacation.
in this
Tons
world.
of things you can do. Yeah, there's all sorts of shit you can buy, but okay, but just
Cars,
not
but no
houses.
houses.
And so
Resorts,
you're
but no
gonna-
houses.
You live in a
Yes.
Ferrari.
No,
And
no,
so
no.
you're
Wait,
gonna-
here's critical.
I-
Here's
I-
critical
I-
to it.
wait.
Fine, go ahead.
And so
trying to help you out.
you're gonna
Yeah.
have to pay him a ridiculous amount of money because
Ungodly amounts of money.
ungodly amount, right? Because
Money-
it's the
mon-
one
yeah.
house.
I
It's
don't
the
know
one
how I
house.
made this money. I don't know
It's so
how I
much
made
money.
this money, but
Yeah. Oh, it's
true,
worth so
you're
much
right.
money. Okay, now let's say we add a second house.
True.
Is that
But-
first house as valuable, Ali?
No, it's not as valuable. It's still
Why not?
it's still pretty fucking
Oh,
valuable.
so it's
not
still
as
pretty valuable. I
I would
agree.
agree.
But is it
because there's
as
more of
valuable?
them because there's more supply to meet people's demand.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And that
If you
lowers
have-
the price.
If you have the supply,
And that lowers the
if you
price,
ha- If
Ali.
you have the supply, it'll meet the people's demand. All
yeah,
we
yeah,
need
yeah.
to do is build a
And that
house for
lowers the
every single
price, Ali.
person, and every person that's coming up, and then
Stop. Ollie, I just need to know, if you build the second house, does that lower the price?
100%,
Okay, cool.
Okay, if you
Where
build
are
3
lost
houses,
then?
that would lower it down
You-
even more, right?
even more.
Whoa.
Yes, if you go
more.
from zero,
Can we
zero to 100, the
extrapolate?
price of the 100
Can we use some
isn't
So
really-
let's
mathematical
keep
induction
adding.
here?
yeah,
And then the housing prices keep falling, right?
for initial buys, yeah, for sure, every time. For the initial, if we start
Where
from
are
zero,
you-
then yes.
Okay, walk us through where you
Wait,
where
wait,
this
wait,
doesn't
wait, wait.
connect.
I want you to
Where you got
understand-
lost?
I
Where
want-
between one
no,
and a million houses? Which
Here,
number
here,
did
here,
you?
here. because you guys were working from infinite amounts of money down, right? But right now there is a set amount of things. There are things, right? And there's prices for
Correct.
shit. If you build a new
That's true.
apartment,
There are things.
once again, I need you to show me with
We
the
got real
empirical
deep
data where
level
the
analysis
prices
here
are going
today.
down for the other apartments due to just because there's more apartments. Where
Yes,
is it?
I can show you empirical economic
I-
evidence
this
is-
that
here's
building
what pisses
housing
me off about
lowers
it.
the cost.
This is
Let's
the
get these
most fucking
links
studied.
going, baby.
This
We've
is the
had
most
this
studied
debate. I have
subject.
sent this to you.
Like I could pull you 20 fucking graphs where we talk
Yeah.
about. Oh wait, hold
Send
on.
in the graphs,
When you-
Hunter. Help me
So
out.
When you send me the graphs, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look up the local listings of the local rent of any place that I want to live, and I'm just gonna show you how high it is and how
Wait,
it's not
You're going to
going down.
refute those
But
graphs
not
with
wait,
your
but not
I'm gonna
comparable.
lived
refute-
experience.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna refute your stats with what anecdotes? Because that's how
anecdotes.
we do this, baby.
Chad,
That's how we
live-
fucking do this, baby.
who needs
'Cause-
numbers when we got lived experience? Good point.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of, yeah. Because is it true? Is it
True.
true that millennials are having a hard time because of avocado toast? What was it? We're doing too much avocado
True.
toast. That's why we can't afford
Yeah,
anything. That's what the
because,
stats said, right? That's
okay.
where
I,
that's where
I
our-
had,
our
that's
data's
Starbucks.
that's a
getting
new
us.
one. I had
Yeah,
not
true.
heard that.
That's totally
Yeah.
true. I've seen millennials with avocado
Uh,
toast, so that must be true.
Okay, so I want to like try to engage in here, right? Because I feel like we're making our friend our friend Hunter sad. And
Yeah, me and I'm on Lactoid's side. This is crazy. You guys
No,
are
it's just because Hunter thinks
I
because he
wanna-
got the new, more expensive
want
apartment that the
to-
guy behind him got.
This
Right.
happens a lot.
This
Hunter.
is filtering. This is such a fucking known phenomenon. This is like the most
like-
studied
Yeah.
shit in economics. Is build more housing shit happens. It
Build
fixes
more
everything.
housing. Housing is so expensive to build that the
It's
rent.
illegal to build. That's the issue. It's fucking illegal. It's
Or,
illegal.
or artificially more expensive because of the regulations.
Why is it illegal to
and
build?
OSHA.
Because wait, hold on. Let me stop.
This is
Everyone
why we
pause.
Yeah, why
abolished
is it illegal to
OSHA.
build? I
Stop!
wanna
Stop!
know.
Stop!
Prices go down.
Hold on. This is my shit. Don't fucking. Okay, cool.
I've never
Why
been
is
so
it
happy
illegal
be,
to
like,
build
sitting
in
on the
America?
sidelines for
Why is it
Canada.
illegal to
This
build in
This is
America?
great.
This is a great question. This is a great
Yeah,
question. Why is
why?
it illegal? Okay, great.
Yeah.
If you want to build a house in America as a developer, you have to go into a city council meeting and start advocating for changing the zoning so that it is allowable within the city's regulations. Now, what often happens is a lot of the fucking loser ass landlords go into the city council meeting and go, wait, hold on. If you build this apartment building, my rent is going to go down and I want to make as much money as humanly possible. So I would actually like you not to build those apartment buildings. And they fucking swarm the city council meetings and they say, no, don't fucking build apartment buildings here. Please don't build apartment buildings here. And then the city council meeting are just filled with the entire room is just filled with fucking 80-year-old loser ass landlords who want to make as much money as possible. And they go,
You sound a little
"Fuck."
envious.
So what's
I'm not-
considered?
I'm not 80 yet,
Wait, Hunter. What's considered a city? Like, is Dearborn a city or is it a suburb?
I don't know. Well, I don't.
Well, okay. Can you? I mean,
It's a suburb. Come
what's
on.
the
guessing
difference
it-
between a city and a suburb? Is a better
Yeah.
question.
Legally, it's probably a city.
I don't even
What
know
do you-
what.
Oh my god.
The
No, I'm
lawyer
actually-
goes
I'm-
right to the
I'm-
legal.
Like,
Hey,
what's the difference between a city and a suburb? Because I
Sorry,
think you're talking about like people.
where are we going?
It's
with
not
this, right?
super
Well,
clear.
because
There's
he's,
going
because
to
he's,
be a
because he's saying landlords are going in and they're saying their prices are going to go down. If landlords are owning apartments, right? Like I'm thinking of like bigger apartments than like maybe a 3-story apartment, right? I'm thinking of like
No,
when you say
not
city, I'm thinking of like a downtown area. That's kind of
Think
what
of
what
think
city
of
is.
literally any place in America. Think of literally any place. Okay, you've got
There
a
are
place.
metropolitan. To be clear, there are
Any
metropolitan
place?
areas.
Yellowstone
right?
National Park.
Fuck.
There are metropolitan areas, and then outside.
Houston's
of those,
like the one place in
geographic
America where
boundary of
this
the
is actually
metropolitan
not
area, You will
happening.
find suburbs.
So you can't choose
That-
Houston
It's not
either.
actually that hard to figure this out.
No, that's fine. Okay, so
There's
like
Minneapolis, I think, is doing really well. So don't think of Minneapolis. Think of any fucking. I'm gonna think of little.
Nashville
Ormond,
has
well,
too
no,
many
because
apartments.
because
You
because
can't
I'm
build
not
apartments
because
here.
well, the reason I'm
Minneapolis
gonna
is
ask
not
is
doing
because
well.
you're saying it's landlords flooding
what was
like
it then?
you're saying it's landlords flooding city
Well,
council meetings,
he's
and-
it sounds like he's specifically talking about apartment complexes because I mean,
Yeah.
for me
And
to
so-
now for me
that's
to build
upzoning.
a house, I don't really have to do much of anything. I apply for a
build an
building
apartment
permit. I tell
complex,
them how
though.
big it is.
For single
done
family
deal.
homes,
Easy.
sure.
No, to build like
well, if I want to build 10
an
single
apartment
family
complex.
Yeah.
So if I have 21 acres, if I want to build houses on that 21 acres, all I do is I do have to appear before the city council, but it's not they don't approve anything. I just give them my plan and they go, okay.
And
That's
all right.
largely
Build
for
them up
single
rent,
family
which is
homes.
fine.
Wait, hold on.
But-
There's an emphasis on single family homes in America. This is because fucking American dream. Everyone wants to own a single family home. Those will get passed super easily. But the problem is that doesn't really fix the supply issue. The way you fix supply issues is upzoning
Build
by
up.
making huge
Okay.
apartment buildings. That is illegal in most cities in America.
And it
My
ought to
argument.
be.
Wait. I've had this conversation.
Communist
I had this with
blocks.
non-funding.
That's what
Tried to explain
No.
to me how this would bring the prices down. So I can agree that like maybe building a bunch of apartment complexes around a suburb would bring the prices down. But the argument to me isn't that landlords of other apartment complexes are the ones at city council meetings. There's a bunch of people who live in these suburbs that do not
Like
want
me.
apartment.
Yeah, they're
that
losers.
do not want apartment. Wait.
I agree.
No, they're just homeowners and
Yes.
they
Wait,
don't
hold
want
on,
their
hold on.
neighborhood-
I
they
was
don't want their
talking about
neighborhood to-
homeowners.
wait. They don't want their neighborhoods to just become like random sprawling apartment complexes because they've invested into the land, they've invested into a
I
community.
agree.
So it's not just landlords; it's also people who just
You said
don't want
homeowners.
to want their community to.
Fine,
change.
Yeah,
fine,
nobody
I
wants
agree.
more apartments.
No, you said
Homeowners.
landlord. You said
Fine,
landlords.
fine. I think landlords
Yeah.
are largely speaking the ones the ones in those city council meetings. But you are right, homeowners. Anyone whose fucking wallet's gonna get a little bit thinner.
No,
with
no,
apartment
see.
buildings.
No. Don't do
It's-
that. Don't
yeah.
just resort it. No, don't just resort it to their pockets getting thinner. There are people
Why?
who because there are
Oh,
people who
Hunter,
bought
Ollie's
into
actually
a-
making a good point here.
There are people
Yeah,
who
Well,
bought
then
into
there's an
it
aesthetic.
anyway.
Then there's an
Right.
aesthetic
Because
distinction
when
here.
I'm buying a house
Sure,
for
I agree.
Lifestyle.
$380,000, I'm
And it
buying
sucks.
part of the community. I'm buying into a community. I'm buying into an area. I want to see a progress for this area, especially if I'm paying $350,000, $250,000, $400,000 for a house. No. I don't like most people that are spending this type of money don't want random apartment buildings popping up, not because the price of
agree.
their house is going to go down, because eventually it'll go up regardless.
I think
But
largely
they
speaking,
don't want these things in their neighborhoods.
largely
It makes
speaking,
it makes the neighborhood ugly.
I understand. Largely
And
speaking,
crime.
Well, I don't get the crime, not so much.
No,
But wait.
not even a little
Are you
bit
part of
crime.
the non? Are you part of? Do you know who non-fund?
Hold on.
Non-fund
Yes,
is? Wait,
crime.
do you know who non-fund
How
is?
crime?
No
homelessness.
crime.
Homelessness.
Yeah,
More-
increases-
more population
do you know
density?
Who non-fund is? Do you know who
No
non-fund is?
crime.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so there's.
But
this-
no. Actually, I disagree with you. But whatever, we can get into that.
I have
Somebody else
stats on
can
this
do
one.
So like,
No.
are you part of the people who like think that that it being affordable is more important to the people than the community or like because
Yes.
we can
I
just
think
demolish
this is
all the
really
homes. We can
interesting.
just demolish all the homes and make a bunch of apartment complexes, but most people don't want to.
Dot
So,
comrade.
Hunter, I
With
ha-
all
I
the
have-
housing
hold
in
on,
one
hold on.
place.
Can I say this?
Hold on,
Yes,
can I-
right, Lackoid, yeah.
Hold on. Let me say
Conrad.
something
I
real
want to
quick. Let me
engage
say
with
something
Hunter
real
on
quick.
something
Well,
because
it's
this is
communism,
super interesting to
baby.
me.
Can I say something real quick?
Slava Ruski.
I want to say something real quick, just real quick. I think specifically when we're talking about the aesthetics of a neighborhood, and we're like, we don't want apartment buildings to go up, but people are coming in anyway. That's largely going to displace a lot of residents that currently live there, and homelessness spikes around the when capacity when supply doesn't get increased. And I think specifically when we're talking about crime and we're talking about aesthetics, I think homelessness being allowed to sprawl into our streets is something that should be avoided at all costs. And I think that building apartments has shown to decrease homelessness.
So this is an interesting.
It does
Pricing people-
overall.
Hold on, just give me a second here, Hunter. This is really interesting to me because you want more evil robber barons, not less.
I want more evil robber barons.
Apartment
Who
owners
do you
are-
think
are
build
not
the
going to
apartment
be-
complexes, Hunter?
Yeah, they're not going to be doing cheap rent.
Yeah,
Like,
Hunter.
yeah,
But
Yeah,
I'm not
are-
even
are-
fucking
I'm literally
following a
right now,
little bit.
like one of the
Apartment
things, one of my
owners are the
projects on my
slummiest
plate
of
right now
lords.
Multifamily housing is run by landlords, isn't it?
Oh,
Is
of
what he's
course.
saying.
Yeah, of
Yeah, so
course I
you're
do.
asking for more landlords to come into my
course I do.
suburb. Well,
Of course I
okay.
am.
Well,
These
hold on. One of my
blood-sucking
projects right
landlords.
now
Of course I am.
is
What a
build to
dumb-
rent. We're building houses not to
Uh-huh.
sell them,
I know to
but
rent.
to
Build to rent
rent
is
them.
good.
build to rent, and
You'll own nothing and you'll love it.
You guys are
That's
so
right.
fucking
you will own
stupid.
nothing.
Let's
Ah!
move everything to the subscription model.
Here's my issue. Renting. Americans are way too fucking obsessed with buying your fucking home. When you are a student or when you're someone who
I'm glad to know Hunter's on my side as an evil robber baron.
I'm not
Yes.
morally against landlords in any way. Even if I was, I couldn't legislate you out anyway. Because morally
win!
speaking,
To win! It's a
I don't know
win
if
for
he
the
was
evil
fighting
robber
you.
barons. It's a
I don't know
win
if
for
he
the
was
evil
fighting you.
robber. I'll
So this
take
is the
it.
issue.
Okay, so I
Hunter,
wanna-
is
I wanna
liberals
try to-
I've never
are
found
pro-
landlords
liberals are
the
pro
issue.
slumlords because you guys
I
think the
want
rents
to-
go down when we have more slumlords in the world. That's the
want
issue.
to.
Well, I won't be a
Okay.
Slumlords
slumlord,
can
but I
only
will be an evil
exist.
robber baron.
I wanna
Slumlords
try
can
to
only
move the
exist because you're
conversation.
taking advantage of a situation that is
I'm
largely.
gonna try
built.
to. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try to shift the conversation. We're gonna start a fight. Okay, all right.
The fight starts now.
Oh,
That's
now
fine.
we're gonna
We haven't
fight?
already started.
I want to start a new fight. Excuse me. So private.
Hey,
equity.
by the way, so Prime, just give me 1 second. Before I forget about it, Lactoid, the typical contractor
Upsell?
percentage of homeowner costs is, home building costs is about 40%. So where I would build a house for, say, I don't know, 150, 200 grand, you would spend 350 to 400 grand doing the same thing. Because you would pay the contractor 40%, and I don't do that. I'm my own contractor.
Hold on. You just said that you would have to pay the contractors to come build the house, though, right? You don't
Well,
personally go out
I
there and
act
build the
as
house.
my own contractor. I deal with subcontractors, and I pay them as little as fucking possible.
Okay, so let me understand this correctly then.
Mhm.
Are you telling me that because, and maybe this is start like this, I believe much more. You're saying that like as your position, because
Mhm.
you're a large contractor, because you can offer a lot of jobs, you have more negotiating power to reduce the price the subcontractors have to charge, as opposed to me, little old Lactoid, where if I try to
No,
go to the
I'm saying
subcontractors,
that
they're going
I'm-
to charge me more because I'm
You
just
have to
one
pay
guy.
a contractor's fee. He
No, no.
doesn't because he's a contractor.
So you can't act as your own contractor because you don't know even how to talk to these people. So you engage in what's called a general contractor, and he marks everything up by about 40%.
Well, now
And
he
the
knows
con-
that.
Sorry,
but I feel like maybe I hope I'm not being dumb. I'm pretty sure like, okay, if I did, I guess, a little bit of homework and I got to the point where I'm like, I figured out how to work with these subcontractors, I still think it's going to cost me
yeah,
like
you
$300,000 to
could save yourself
$400,000
maybe 20 or
down
30%.
the boonies.
You could save yourself a good bit, but you got to know which crew. You got to know, man. I'm telling you, there's a bunch of shysters in contracting, bro.
Yeah, Yelp.
Yo, you don't use Yelp. Don't use Yelp.
Okay, Google.
You
We're
can
in
reviews,
this
trust
I don't know.
hypothetical world that Lactoid pays.
This
you
is
know.
no, come on. It sounds a little bit to me like you're a middleman. Like you're
No,
just
I cut
kind of
out
this.
the middleman.
No, he's the contractor. The
No, you-
contractor is the
I
middleman.
act as
Cut
my
out the-
own
A
contractor.
He finds people.
Yeah,
who-
but you're
Lactoid,
acting
when
as
you-
a contractor, right? Because you build the thing and then
Yeah.
sell it.
But he doesn't have to pay himself
No,
40%.
I build it and then I own it, but yeah.
Right, you build
I
it and
could
you own
sell
it, but you obviously you rent it, right?
I rent it out to people. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Okay.
So
you-
like when I built my sunroom, I got 3 quotes on it. The first quote was $160,000. The second quote was like 180 or something. and then I got one cheap ass quote for like 100. Quote for 100. I built it for like 65,000.
Yeah. Well, here's what I suspect. Okay, could be wrong. Talking a little bit out of my ass here, but I do strongly suspect this. That the reason why you're getting good deals is because you work with these people a lot. You are somebody they want to stay on the good side of, and you are somebody that they are going to do a lot of jobs for. And so you are able to negotiate lower prices in ways that everybody here in this panel simply can't.
We could have a
That's my
whole
guess.
conversation about how to deal with contractors.
Okay.
Can't drive too
Build a
nice a
house,
truck. You
I'll-
can't drive
Next
too cheap a
Monday
truck.
on
You've
If
got
I
you know,
ever if I ever build a
Pride.
house, I'm gonna hit you up, and I'm definitely gonna ask for some advice. Yeah.
So, okay, I wanted to shift the conversation a bit. Private equity, bad. That's
Yeah,
my argument
obviously.
there. Bad. Well, hold on, not
Obviously.
our friends Lactoid and our friend Hunter
Yeah.
seem to think otherwise.
We're the
and
hand
so-
washers of
No,
fascism.
yeah, they
Bullshit.
don't think it's bad enough. They don't think
Lacto
it's
gets
bad
left,
enough.
Hunter gets the right hand.
I think
Wait, Hunter. Let me present my argument first, and that's going to be part of Grid's argument, which was that most of these people, most of these large corporations, are going to do exactly what Grid did. They're going to set up small LLCs that are going to buy up as many as they can, right, and hold them off. So like there was a
whoa. Don't just move past that grid. Is that what you're saying? You buy
not that he does that.
me
He
It
said
sounds
he could
illegal.
do that.
Just so
Wait,
you know,
no.
this sounds very illegal.
Doesn't sound
Just so you know.
illegal. It sounds like
It sound-
fucking not a way to make money. Yeah, I'm not gonna rent it.
Wait. Not all of these.
No,
these,
that could make
private
money.
equity firms. Not all of these private equity firms are trying to make
Yeah.
money, right? So there was
Okay.
when I was in college and I was in Ypsilanti, Michigan, downstream from Ann Arbor. There was a huge thing, a huge talk in the city about remember like 10 years ago when like Chinese
Hey,
corporations
everyone
were
quiet
buying
down.
up.
Money just came in.
my bad.
$50 from Doobie. Thank you, Doobie.
Shout out, dude.
It said, totally agree that general contractors are the devil. That's why you pay broke family
My
members
man
to do
Doobie.
most of the donkey work. Also, ignore Hunter, please. Americans should be obsessed with purchasing and holding a profitable property, right? Well, okay.
we're fighting
Doobie
the
Yeah,
says it
I have a
actual
little
rich person-
disagreement. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Doobie, as an actual rich person, I think would know. And Hunter,
Wait,
as
hold
an
on.
actual
Obviously, it's
poor
gonna
person,
make
would
money. I'm
know.
bad. I'm against that.
So wait,
I don't think my position is exactly fleshed out here. Just to be super clear, obviously, if you wait, what does it mean? Purchase and holding profitable property, like holding as in not renting that out. How could
Yeah,
that
you should be
living in it.
obsessed with buying
I mean,
a home
okay.
and owning.
Oh,
and keeping
yeah.
a home.
living
or
in
holding
it.
it on
Gotcha.
your balance sheet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hunter, imagine, leave it to Beaver. Okay, you have a wife, you have a husband, and you have 3 beautiful children, a white picket fence, and
I
a
like
beagle.
renting.
And
And
you
no black
live in the
pickets.
house and you own it. We can talk about that, Prime. But you own it. You own the house. This is good. It is good to have this level of stability. It's good to not have a deal with. I hate dealing with landlords. I hate the idea that somebody can walk into my house at any with just hey, I'm gonna check on you. I'm gonna check on my shit. No, no, you don't get to come into my house unless you have a badge and a gun and I have to. let you in.
likes the idea of shooting people.
So I'm gonna say
during
this.
times.
I'm gonna say this.
Um,
I love that when my toilet breaks, I just call someone up and just go, "You deal with it." And
I
have to pay
replaced
for
my
it.
toilet.
Yeah,
You
just
learn to
fix
be
your
a man
toilet.
by owning something, right? So then you got to fix it.
Fix your toilet. But
Yeah,
but
I hear you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to.
I carried the whole thing in. It was heavy as shit, and I
I don't wanna
fucking made
do
it
that.
work.
I make someone else
Thank
do it. I
you.
And then
say,
he grew
"You
a beard like a
fucking-"
real man.
Thank you, Doobie, for the kind $50 super chat. You can also super chat anyone else out there. If
Do
you
it.
want us to discuss your
And you can super chat
your
higher
topic.
amounts too. Just FYI.
Wow.
You
lot
can do
more.
that. That is also an option.
we should
right?
test the limit of how much you can super chat. Actually,
I think that's a perfect experiment. I've never seen the end of that rainbow. Let's see if it exists. There's certainly a pot of gold. I can
How many
imagine.
zeros can fit on that
for
space
sure.
there and on the super chat?
Exactly. What happens, right? Does it like roll over or anything? I don't know. Hold on, we got another one. Another thing.
there we go.
Thank you, DB. It says, purchase it, live in it, prepare it, and then rent it out. Selling it is haram.
Right,
Thank
true.
you.
Make,
That's
make
right.
interest. Interest is haram.
Oh, we
Can't
included
do it.
renting. Okay, that's it. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, do you agree?
Yeah, every American should have 2 rental
Should be
properties. I
obsessed
agree.
with it.
Yeah, you should be obsessed. Yeah, what
I think
do you
the
agree,
only way-
Hunter?
I think if everyone had 2 rental properties, largely speaking,
They would be
no-
empty.
That's funny. Who would you rent to? Everyone's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Every man, woman, child, 2 rental properties. And fail.
No, I have a huge issue with this. Largely speaking, we have to be okay with our assets depreciating in value. Otherwise, like I'm not against people owning homes. I am against people owning homes and doing everything in their means to appreciate that asset, including restricting supply at their local city council meeting. That is what I am against, and I think that incentivizes
Okay.
that behavior. And if that incentivizes your behavior, you shouldn't be doing it.
Spoken
That's not
like
why
a true
people are doing
communist.
it, but it is a wait, listen.
How is that coming?
People don't wanna
He's asking
buy
for
the-
more competition, literally.
Yeah,
Like,
but like-
That's exactly correct.
Yeah, I know, but
That
you're
is-
but like there's a difference between buying a car, right? Buying a car and buying a house, right? No one's buying into a $300,000 property in like being okay that it's depreciating in value. Like, why would anyone buy a property if like it was gonna just go down in value? A car is a necessity. You have to have a car. You can
A
rent
house
if
is
you
not
have-
a necessity. I'm not even following.
Wait, no. Owning a house for a lot of people feels like a necessity. Right? Let's say you want to
Okay.
resort everyone to rent. That's fine. But no one is gonna buy a house and have it like like you'll have no one buying houses at that point.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I think
That
would
no
be
one buys
better.
houses.
Wait, hold on. Houses need to start depreciating in value. It's fucking crazy that the house market just keeps upticking, and this is largely because no one is building houses. If we start building houses, then housing values are going to start decreasing.
How many
And guess
people
what's
do you
gonna
know
go?
that's paid off their houses?
Hold on. Guess what? That's gonna happen. Rent is gonna be cheaper.
Yeah. So how many people
All
do you
of
know
those-
have paid for their houses?
When is it gonna be cheaper? Is actually
I've
is actually
paid
the
in full
question.
for my house, full for their houses, or mortgage their houses.
Yeah. How many people have paid their house off?
That I know.
Yeah.
On this panel or in life?
Just in real life. How many
I
people do you know?
genuinely don't think I know anyone.
Okay.
My parents paid off their house.
My
Okay.
parents did, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I know tons of people who own their houses, but no, paid it off in full. No,
Well, you
only
don't-
a few.
You only kind of own it. You and the bank own it, and the bank has a larger share.
Right?
So you're technically renting. You just get to rent at a lower rate.
Sure.
You're building equity,
No,
which is different. which
Your
is
house
different.
is your house is collateral. I don't know if that's
So
the same
so
thing
Hunter
as-
houses
No.
shouldn't build equity.
No. That's what happens in.
Interesting.
That's what happens in. When we have built enough houses. No,
There will never
I-
be enough houses.
it will.
Yeah,
Hold on,
but
hold on,
What
it
does
should
that even
keep up.
fucking
It-
mean? We can
oh,
When is
always
it
try
wait,
to
gonna
it
have
should-
housing. Yes.
Wait, hold on.
that-
It
that-
should, at the
that-
very least, in an ideal market with pure equilibrium, which I agree is never going to be hit, but assuming a perfect equilibrium, it should at least keep up with inflation.
Wait,
What,
Lacto, are
housing
you okay with
values?
that?
No,
Do
they
you-
should
wait,
be
Lacto, are
decreasing.
you okay with the
If you-
housing
if
market
you're
becoming
fucking-
something
if
that
it's a
just stays
50 to-
stagnant?
If it's a 50, hold on. If it's like a 50-year property, I lived in this place when I was just a student. It was like $250 to live there. It was crazy cheap. I probably picked up asbestos living there. It was crazy, and like it was falling apart. It was shit. That house is worth more than when it was built. That is a travesty. That doesn't
But-
make
No,
any sense.
Hold on, but
No,
that's
I no, wait,
market.
listen to what I said. Right,
You
listen
said
to what I
it should
said.
keep
Though.
up with inflation.
It's the
Yeah, with
location
general
that's
inflation.
No,
expensive.
that should
It's
probably
the-
be worth less than when it was built.
But it's probably the
Why
land
would
that
it
it's
be worth
on,
less?
right? It's the location that it's at. It was why it's
hold on,
more
it
expensive.
depends-
Just because
it
the building
depends-
is run
Are they
down doesn't
making
mean
more
anything.
land?
It depends. Hold on. I
No,
agree
but
with
you
you.
wait.
if-
Hold on,
if-
hold on. Up, you can
Hunter.
build up.
If you kept it up, if you maintain the
go up.
property, if you maintain the property, I think that at the very least, then it like holding around inflation
Oh,
makes sense.
sure.
I
If
agree.
you're
If you let it
consistently-
become dilapidated, then sure. yeah,
Great. Okay, cool. That's all I'm saying.
it
Wait,
drops.
but
And by the way,
even
it
if it's
does kind of drop in
dilapidated,
value.
It
the
could,
neigh-
but
if the
largely
surrounding
not.
neighborhood, if the
In some
surrounding
areas, it
neighborhood-
doesn't because it's crazy right now. But
even
Yeah.
if it's dilapidated,
That's what I'm
right?
saying is
You-
the
you-
issue.
your guys' argument is wait, Hunter. Your
Mhm.
argument is that building new housing and blah 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 should drive the price down, right? But like my argument is that like let's just say you have a dilapidated house on a block, right?
Uh-huh.
The entire block got renovated, but now I have the shittiest house on the block now, Someone still wants to live on that block. They want to buy that land. They want to buy the property because the property's on this land, on this nice block. That's why my property went up in value. Not be like that's just it.
You're looking at it that
The demand is there. The demand of someone wanting to buy my property for X amount because it's in this nice neighborhood with all this new build is why it's expensive.
The real issue that I have here with how you're viewing this is you're seeing price as necessarily tied to whether or not the places on your block have been renovated. And I'm saying the places on your block can do absolutely fucking nothing and they would still appreciate in value.
It depending on if the neighborhood. Wait, no. If
Yes.
you live in a bad neighborhood where nothing in that neighborhood is getting fixed, your prices aren't going up. If
Yes,
you live in
they
a
will.
Well,
bad
land will go
neighborhood
up
largely
because they don't make any
speaking-
more land.
Yes.
yes, but if you live in a shit neighborhood and then things start getting better around your neighborhood, the prices of your things, even if
Okay.
you don't fix them,
All
will go up.
else
That's
equal, the
literally what it
price of
is.
your house will increase. All
Hey,
else
Hunter,
equal.
Hunter, so let me ask you something.
So then, like, I don't see what the
Well,
your argument against that is.
Build more housing.
I don't
Like,
understand
I really
Hunter's.
want to hit that 20 times.
Oh my
You
God.
I really
fucking
don't
build more
understand
housing.
where
You
you're
build
going
more
with this.
housing and my house becomes more expensive because my area becomes
becomes-
more desirable.
No, it doesn't. It
yes, it
doesn't. Because
does.
you're
Thank you,
increasing the
David, for
amount of supply.
$50. Yeah.
It really is
Um,
that easy.
It really
So,
is.
so Hunter, let me ask something.
Hmm.
So why do you think it's wrong for a piece of property that was worth, say, a piece of land that I could have bought 5 years ago for $500 an acre is now currently today worth $10,000 an acre?
Yeah, I think that's probably
dirt.
indicative of an issue.
Why? What issue do you have with that?
It's
Why should
indicative
it
of an
not
issue.
be worth $10,000 an acre?
Wait, sorry. I think that you're taking a stand. It's indicative of an issue. I don't find it an issue in of itself.
What issue is it indicative of?
Wait. The land itself?
Dirt, bare dirt, was $500 an acre in 2020. It is currently today, 6 years later, worth $10,000 an acre.
I don't know if I have an issue with that.
You don't have an issue with that. So if
No,
a
bare
house
dirt.
that's built on
Hold
a
on.
piece of dirt goes up in value, it's because that piece of dirt has value intrinsically in and of itself.
Let me think about that. That is
Because I don't care what the house is that's on it. The house can be a falling down piece of shit, but the
Land is what you're
dirt,
buying.
that
location.
piece of dirt is worth money.
The location is what you're
The
buying.
fact
not
that it
the- not
has
the
a house
building.
on it now that can be renovated or torn down and rebuilt has value. You simply don't understand value, and therefore you just say,
Airspace.
"Well, I don't want it. I don't like it."
Even the air, like the
Wait,
airspace, like
wait.
it's the
Hunter doesn't
location you're
understand
buying.
much, really, honestly. I think
Nice,
he's proven
Fred.
that.
Well, he understands hand
hold
washing.
on.
Very well.
You're
See,
you're
that's
He's
saying
a great hand washer.
you're saying that the land in America increased from $400 to $1,000. Laxwo, did you hear this?
Yeah, I've been listening.
Hold on. I'm
Wait,
gonna.
I'm just going to clarify something. I might be because I don't actually know the answer, but like, do people truly own land in the United States?
Yes.
In some
Yes.
places, and in some places, they're about to be able to really own it because they're getting rid of property taxes.
Well, no. I think. Do you mean? Do you
goddamn
mean
right.
that? So hold on. I just because we talked about this Lactoid, right? Like how under circumstances like the land under your feet, like after a certain distance, like it's not actually yours, and then like the
Mineral
government can
rights
do
and
stuff-
water
Mineral
rights
rights.
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can do things like they run pipes underneath your land, and technically you can't like fuck with those pipes and all that stuff. Is that what you're talking about, Corey?
That's what I'm getting at. Yes, as in like,
Okay.
like there's like it is actually like yours, and like you can do whatever you want.
Well, I mean, it
Not-
kind of
not in
depends
the
on who
true
wrote the
blue
contract.
Is it
Dream
owner? Is it
fashion,
ownership
no.
in the same way as like a car?
Well, it kind of
No.
depends on how the contract's written, isn't it? Because if you have mineral rights, gas rights, all that sort of thing, then yeah. But if you don't, and they find natural gas there, and they want to tunnel in from the lot next door,
I mean,
then-
ultimately,
No, no,
Well, then,
I
so then,
think I,
then you would agree that you're renting the land.
What?
Kind
no,
of, yes. If you're paying property tax, it feels like you're renting the land because if you don't pay the property tax, the government can come and take your land away.
Yeah.
Yada yada.
well, I
yada.
mean,
Yeah.
in theory, they could, through eminent domain, take your property anyway, but they have to reimburse you for it.
So at
And
least something that's
sometimes
like
it's not a bad idea to have eminent domain come in. To be honest with you.
$50. Thank you, DB. for the kindness. He says you can go online right now and
That's
buy
true.
large parcels of desert for like 30K, then just sit on it forever.
Well,
I guess-
Yeah, my
I
dad's
suppose you could.
my friend's grandpa bought land up north Michigan, like back in like the 50s, 60s for like I think $5,000 for like 100 acres or some shit. And today it's worth like it's pretty fucking pricey. It's around like $1 million because there was like oil reserves that they found on it that they own the rights to, and so on and so forth.
If
Like
you get lucky, yes, you can buy like quote unquote worthless land.
well, no,
and at
you
some
don't, you, don't,
point,
you don't have to even
something
get lucky.
happens.
It's like right now, if you're looking,
You're
if
going to
you
pay
look- if-
taxes on that land.
Wait, yeah. If you look in up north Michigan, right? Like the taxes are going to be super low because they're not really like doing shit for the roads or so on and so forth. You can buy
Well, if it's
land in
unimproved
areas-
land, you don't. In some places, if it's unimproved, you don't pay property taxes. on
Yeah,
it.
so like, but
Land
like you can
value
buy
tax
land
would
in
fix
areas
this.
like there, like Hunter. To your point, there are cities that are kind of going up. There are people who are buying parcels of land and building apartments and building homes and so on. So the property value, like you can buy a piece of land right now for like 10 grand and wait 5 years. The surrounding areas are building. It's going to be worth a lot more money.
Yeah, hold on. If
That's-
that, you're saying there's land that's like in a place that's on the up and up, right?
Yeah.
I'm what Dubious talking about. But he says desert, right? I mean, it could actually be like sandy, right? But it could also just be a worthless plot of land, right? For
Yeah.
otherwise worthless, and
They're
like
worthless now.
one that no one could like reasonably speculate would go up in value, right? But like there's like a lottery system here. One of those pieces of plots of land is going to go up in value for some reason, right? Some reason that might not be foreseeable, right? Like for instance, the AI boom.
People want to own
I
there's a
already,
lot
land.
of
see,
plots
I
of
already see the
land.
problem
Yeah,
with this
people
one.
want to own land.
Well, I got.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got a
you're
scenario.
so
So there
you're
are
right. It's like
people- hold on.
lottery.
Actually,
but-
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
there's a reason why you got to be careful playing the lottery because there's you're missing out on the benefit of investing that money in other things that are going to make you money,
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
opposed to potentially in this case losing money. You're paying
but this is
taxes on that.
stock,
In most
right?
cases that I know of, maybe there's some jurisdictions.
I
that
don't think you
charge,
pay taxes
um,
on desert land in Arizona unless you build something on it.
Well,
But-
I tell you-
I don't know.
interesting-
That could be true in Arizona. I'm not sure.
As
and
an
here's the
interesting
other
thing,
thing.
though,
you know what you're forgetting?
Adverse
Y'all keep saying you
possession.
can't make
If you
land.
guys
That's another
driven-
important thing to keep in mind.
Well, what was the average possession? What is that? Can you tell us?
So one of the classic
No,
cases they have
I'm
us
gonna
read
get
in
you,
a,
Gibbs.
Yep, one of the classic cases they have us read in law school. I forget the name of it, but there's companies that do this. There are companies that will buy large tracts of land, and they're holding companies where they'll sit on the land, hope it goes up, hope that somebody needs it, or maybe they have some reason to believe that someone's going to need it, and then they sell it at a profit. That's the idea. And so one of these companies was bought up a shit ton of Alaskan land for dirt cheap, right? And there was these hippies that showed up one day, and they wandered on over this property, and they just set up shop because, I mean, who's going to stop them, right? These people owned the land on paper, but nobody was coming around and shooing them off or whatever. So they had a little shed, a little
They made
tie
meth.
dye. Yeah. They were,
Made meth.
this was before meth. This was back when weed and coke. This was before meth. Maybe some quaaludes. Okay.
Yeah.
And in America, if you sit on land for long enough, it becomes yours.
Yep, squatters'
Legally.
rights.
So if you
State by
I forget
state
what it is.
again.
Yeah, it's state by state. I know that in California, I think California is one of the shortest time periods. I'm pretty sure it's 3 years. or
In
something.
Michigan,
I
it's
could
by
be
encroachment.
wrong.
You have to literally encroach on, like, you have to territorially take someone's land and kind of kind of claim it, and then it becomes
This is how it
yours.
works. Yeah, this is how it works in every state. You have to go onto the land, set up shop, and basically act like it's your land.
And you have
And
to
if you do
improve
this,
it.
yeah, yes. Well, improvements go towards the argument that you've adversely possessed the land. And so in this case, the hippies, they got the property and they got to keep the property for the little commune, and the holding company they're just shit out of luck. They lost their investment, they lost the land, over. And so if you loan large pieces of undeveloped property, I would visit that place every once in a while.
Yeah.
Keep in mind the kind of years you're looking at. Make sure you're surveying it properly. Make sure other farmers, because this is the big thing that happens most of the time as farmers. Well, they'll
So-
they'll start plowing or seeding a little bit more into your land over time, over
Ah.
time, over time, over time.
Mhm.
That's usually how it happens. So you got to be careful.
So-
with that.
Interesting.
So as far as
I'll-
undeveloped tracts of land and buying it and that sort of thing, if you've driven down 40 through Arizona and New Mexico, you'll look on either side and you'll see these big things that are with spinning around. They're called windmills. they generate electricity and whatnot. And
Did you think we not know what windmills were?
well,
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
you know, some
That's
people,
okay.
you know,
That's
look,
okay.
I can't make any assumptions here. And
That's fair.
and
That's
what
fair.
they do, what these companies did is they went around to all these people that own this land that has literally nothing on it but fucking cactus, and they paid them a lot of money to go in and build these and put these windmills in, and they pay them every year to have those windmills on that property, and it's worthless, literally worthless desert land. And yet those people are getting a paycheck every month for land that they probably paid for 100 years ago or whatever.
Let's go to our friend Gibbs.
Yeah, y'all keep saying that we can't make land, and that's not technically true. I've been thinking about this.
Dubai's done it.
Well, that's true. We also have people use old oil rigs, they convert into other stuff, and
Mm.
I'm just gonna bring up that liberal hot word that everybody likes to use, climate change. That desert land, that might soon be beachfront property if you sit around.
Could
long
be.
enough. And then you can just be rich and have the only, your forefathers invested in this land. So, I don't know if I really am buying that we can't make more land. In fact, we've cleaned out swamps. Houston is basically on top of a swamp. New Orleans is basically land reclaimed.
We
from
could
a
also
swamp.
take Cuba.
They've even extended New
Cuba.
Orleans, if I recall.
Or we can build
correctly.
up.
They took built the little dikes, and then they built.
It costs a lot of money to build up.
Yeah,
to be
because of
cl- I
don't
because of
know.
regulations.
Climate
No.
change isn't wouldn't make more land, right? Like
No,
the
but
rising
we've
sea
already
levels would
done
be
that. Though.
losing
We've
land,
already
right?
made
saying
more.
in
land.
He's
property
saying
We've
the
taxes
land
will
will
cost so much
change,
money.
right? Like the desert
would
becomes
be-
beachfront property.
Yeah,
That's more land to live
but
on.
I get what he was saying, but I'm saying it's also it doesn't make.
Well, that
more
land would be
but,
useful, though.
Well,
I wanna
have
bring it
made
back-
land, though, several
I want to
times
bring it back
in
to the
history.
private equity that you were talking
I,
about.
let me
I like-
let
yeah,
me
do that, Ollie.
private
Do it.
equity.
Also, the
Well,
other
me and
fellows
Hunter
with
were in the middle
those
of the
trees in
conversation about
Amazon
it.
have created lots of land.
No.
Like,
I want to jump in. Sorry, I don't want you guys
You
to
can
do
go
it. I
ahead
want
and
to
jump
do it.
in. It's your panel.
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't want me to
thank
jump
you.
in?
I appreciate you.
Fine.
Listen,
I
I'm
thought
just a
we were
guest on your
friends.
panel. You're supposed to be the moderator. We're supposed to be goofing it up, but okay, I got you.
Calling you
Whatever
out.
you want, Prime. Whatever you want.
Go ahead, Prime. You have my permission. Go ahead.
You're supposed to be the moderator, but
It's
in
supposed to
reality,
be. Okay, all right. So I want to engage with our friends. I want to engage specifically with Lactoid and Hunter, but other people can jump in as well. Especially if we have disagreements. So yeah, private equity equal bad, right?
Mhm.
Now, that's the short end. That's what goes on the signs, right? Like the protest signs. But private equity is just like an investment model, right? That's what it is. And gathering private money and then focusing it on a problem, whatever it may be. And which is, I think, in itself fine. But like how private equity tends to behave in certain markets, certain industries, that's where we have an issue. So specifically, we're talking about housing here, right? And private equity in housing has pretty much been shown to be parasitic. Um, they are a detriment to the housing market, and I wanted to make a distinction here, right? Because our friend Hunter at the very start of this, he said, why wouldn't you want corporations within housing? They're going to solve the housing problem. That's a weird statement just off the bat, but still, I understand what I think I understand what he's trying to say, and that like the legislation is pushing out entrance to the market to maybe could increase supply or something
New
like that.
builds.
But specifically, when we're talking about private equity, like what they're talking about is not like pushing corporations out. Corporations are in the housing market one way or the other. They're in there, but they're talking about this investment strategy and the negative externalities that it brings to this industry, and that's why private equity should be pushed out. I disagree with Lactoid, Corey, and Hunter were talking about before. Oh, private equity isn't a big deal. Actually, it is a big deal in terms
Mhm.
of certain parts of the housing market. Yes, actually. And it's weird that you guys are saying otherwise. So I'm going to stop there. I have lots to say on this, right?
Okay.
But I want to give you guys a chance to have a back and forth with me.
Well, you didn't really stipulate the negative externalities or counter our argument
want
that
me to say more?
they make
It's
up less
bad.
than one. Wait, hold on. Two things.
Sure.
First off, I'd love to hear more about those negative externalities.
Sure.
Second, I'd love for you to counter our argument, which is that they make up less than 1% of the housing market.
I won't counter that at all.
Okay.
Actually, no. The
So
thing
tell us
is,
why they matter nonetheless.
well,
Yeah,
okay,
1%.
I will tell you
Well,
exactly why, Hunter.
can I just
Right.
clarify something just quick? Like, are you saying that like it's private equity that it has like that is the disproportionate effect on the housing market, or you're just saying that it has an effect? Because I don't dispute that it has an effect. I'm just saying it's like it's not a
Just to be
significant
clear,
effect.
I'm talking about institutional investors, not private equity.
Well, I'm
we're-
talking about private equity because I don't know why. Don't let's not expand this conversation.
No. But that was that's who make up
we were
1%
talking about
of
private
the
equity.
No, that's who make up 1%, less than 1%, and that's who's
Yes.
banned from the Road to Housing Act.
Exactly that. So that's the thing we're talking about right now.
Right,
Right.
not private equity.
Hold on. Sorry, Hunter. What are you doing here? Private equity was one mentioned in the legislation, correct?
Well, institutional investors is who we're talking about,
Correct.
But
which is
private
the
equity-
same,
Just
I think, in
private
this case. So
equity.
I don't know what the.
If what you're referring to is the exact same, because I think institutional
BlackRock.
investors is a larger group there. But whatever, it's fine. Okay. If you're saying the same thing, then I'm not going to fight.
Sure.
Yeah,
just
we're
continue,
both
sorry.
referring to BlackRock and BlackRock-esque entities, right? That's kind of what we're talking about.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Prime-
If you're talking to me, then yes. Okay. Yeah. sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay. All right. All right. So all right. There's no confusion then. So yes, indeed, it does make up about 1% of the housing market. But right, that's the national housing market. Obviously, housing isn't a national asset; it's a regional asset, right? Like the housing market changes from place to place, right? We have different prices. And different conditions in terms of how many people are around, like in terms of demand and supply, and the laws, regulations governing it. That's where it matters, right? And then from there, not just like the concentrations of private equity in these different cities, right? Because like the distribution is uneven here. Not just that, but it's also what part of the housing market we're talking about. So, in terms of single family homes, they're not nearly as big of an issue. But in terms of single family, like bought single family homes, but single family rented homes, they're a bigger issue. And then for apartment buildings, based multifamily renters, apartment buildings. That's where
What's the
they're-
issue with them owning the
depending-
single family rental homes? What's the issue?
Excuse me.
Do they deliver
I-
an inferior product?
So it depends. They could. I'm gonna focus on is the apartment buildings. I know less about the single family home rental. I think a lot of the things I say are going to carry over there, but I don't want to like die on that hill. So I'm gonna
Okay.
focus on the apartment buildings. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, like on those apartment buildings, right? Their ownership, those are what we've seen is a clear pattern of the quality of the living there becomes less, right? The amenities become less. The prices go up, and
Can you give me an
have
example of that?
overall. I will. I
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
will.
do you have a link or something I could look at?
I will provide you with one. 1 second.
Okay,
Let me
thank
finish my point. But I will provide you with something. So not only do prices go up, quality goes down. There may not necessarily be a slumlord necessarily, but they are trying to extract value and value very quickly. We can get back to what that means later on. So there's that, and also one last thing, it takes away choices. So when you have these large institutional investors, we can use that term, operating within these like discrete housing markets, because there's a bunch of housing markets, not just the one, not just the national, but in these local housing markets, at some point for renters, when they're moving about, they lose access to real competition. Though sometimes, and we definitely know they do this, they come up with a bunch of different names, right? They'll call themselves, they have a bunch of different LLCs under one investor, and you think you have some choice there, but it's an illusion. And then, of course, that also goes into like setting prices, because they're not going to compete against each other, right? They get to raise prices in a way across the board. And the bigger they are within the market, the more
Which
ability to
companies?
have the ability to-
McKinley and Ypsilanti is a good example
So-
of this.
Which one? I'm sorry.
McKinley in Ypsilanti, Michigan. They own like most of the apartment complexes in Ypsilanti. Go ahead, Prem.
No
Good.
problem, no problem. I'm going to provide you. No worries, friend. I'm going to provide you with a link. And I'm going to refer to this article a bunch, so it's worth taking a look at. I'm going to put it in our group chat.
So I guess my experience with dealing with private equity and investor type deals. Well, first of all, so when I first moved back to Tennessee, and we were in a unique situation. We didn't really know where we were going to buy a house, and we still own a house in California and another one in Colorado and some other stuff, but that's irrelevant. And so we actually rented from American Homes for Rent or Progress. No, it's Progress Rental, and their one of their big investors is, I think, Vanguard or BlackRock. I think it's BlackRock. And but BlackRock doesn't actually have any control over what Progress does. They just give them a bunch of money and expect to see a return out of it, right? Progress does all of their, that they just do what they do. And same thing with American Home for Rent and Liberty and all of these other companies that, in fact, I think pretty much the entire neighborhood that I lived in ended up being owned by either Liberty or Progress, right? And so literally, like, every time a house would sell, it was Progress or Liberty that bought it, and they turned it into a rental. Now, they did a great job during my, when I lived in that house. If the AC went out, it was a single phone call. They had somebody there within an hour. They had somebody on call all the time. They had a maintenance guy. When we moved in, the house looked like, it didn't look brand new. It's an older house, but it was clean and the paint was good and everything. Carpet was new. So I don't have the experience with these with what you're talking about. Now maybe it's because I'm dealing with homes and not apartment complexes.
It's the locations that you're dealing with too, right? Like
sure. I'm sure, but I think nationwide that standard's pretty well kept because you're right. People want to maximize profits, and the truth is that no matter how desperate people are, they will look for the best deal they can get. And if what you are offering is a pile of shit, they're not going to want it. They're going to go somewhere else, right?
If
and so
they
it
can
doesn't
go
behoove
somewhere else.
someone,
or they're just going to take it because they have to.
Yeah, if they can go
Weren't
somewhere
you
else.
just saying that you could move out of the country if you wanted to?
I could.
Yeah, you'd have to plan for it.
Yeah.
You and Lactoid
So-
keep holding this against me as if I'm saying you could just pick up tomorrow and go. This is
So
about
I want to. So before we get distracted, all right, I'll let you go, Gibbs. But I do want to jump because I don't want to get distracted here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gibbs. Gibbs, you're
Gibbs, you're muted.
friend. You want to say?
Oh,
Something?
sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Pron. I'll go after you if you don't mind, because I'm going to move the topic a little bit to something else, a part of the problem.
But I
Okay,
mean,
understood. So
I
let's.
guess my perspective on this is different because I'm not as familiar with the apartment complex side, and I don't deal with apartment complexes. I think that there are a lot of trouble in there. It's where you lose
Yeah.
money. Although
Uh-huh.
we may actually be we may be investing in one shortly. So I don't know. Maybe I'll listen to
Yeah.
what you guys are saying here.
Yeah. And we still love your perspective. So to our friends, Hunter and Lactoid. I don't know, other white guy, whatever. But went to Lactoid. Sorry. Yeah.
We're called the base
so
department.
It seemed like I want to understand your position here, right? So I don't mischaracterize you, because maybe we're not as far apart as maybe I think, right? So I want to make sure I understand. Do you all think that private equity, right, or institutional investors, we can use whatever term you like, being able to buy up these large amounts of rental units within a housing market, right, a hot housing market, do you think that is a neutral thing? Do you think that is a beneficial thing? Do you think it's a negative thing? We start there and work our way down.
So I glanced through your article.
It's a very long article. It's a very
Yeah,
long article.
I
yeah.
skimmed it. It seems
Mhm.
like I don't want to misquote it, so I'm going to give a little summary. It seems like what they're saying is some private equity firm bought up this apartment building and didn't upkeep it at all, and it just went to shit. Is that a fair
So they-
summary?
they focused
that
on-
was what I looked at, but I took 2
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah,
to
yeah,
look at it.
yeah. So they focus on one in particular to tell the story, but like to be clear, like it's a larger story than that. But you're correct. They focus on a company called Greystar, that bought a specific apartment building, and they told the story through that lens. But go ahead, yeah.
I think that the only reason that they were unable to really that they were able to do something like that is because they're taking advantage of a situation, which is dwindling supply in America. I think that if you have a proficient or a sufficient amount of housing, which by the way, we're 3 million short, we're 3 million units short in America, that you wouldn't be able to do this. If you don't upkeep the place, the office would move, and they would move to a cheaper location nearby that was able to take care of their needs. But because they don't have enough options available to them, that the people are able to take advantage of them. So I'm against the private equity firms taking advantage of these people, but I also think that the reason why this is occurring is because they have the ability to.
But what if it's not
I-
necessary? What if it's not necessarily taking it?
Here.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So before then, sorry guys, I just want to focus on a
Yeah.
few things. I want to get and I sorry, you have your hand up, Gibbs? Is that
Yeah,
what,
yeah. I just whenever you yeah, go ahead.
okay. So Lactoid, I want your opinion on that question I asked.
Yeah, I got no problem with private equity. I read through the article.
All of
There's
it?
no way you read that
Already?
fucking article.
There is when it goes into history. There's a middle section where it goes into the history of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae.
Mhm.
I did skim that part, but I read the first part. There's like a first chunk that it's Hunter summarized it pretty accurately, which it's mostly just like an anecdotal. This one came in and made shit suck, and talks about how like they pursue higher profit margins for their investors, and then there's the last part that kind of goes back to that, and then there's the middle part that explains the history of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. The article definitely
Oh my god, who is clicking? Please, someone is doing a lot of clicking. Please, someone's the mouse clicking or something. Okay.
there's a couple stats.
It's probably Gibbs.
Possibly. There's a
I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here. I'm just.
Yeah, we can hear you about to take a hit.
Yeah, you can hear that. You can hear that, but
Yeah,
keep
we
going.
can hear that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. There's a couple stats in here, but I mean the article is clearly there clearly is like a slant. So like for example, I'm going to read this part of the article. Quote, another advantage for Wall Street-backed landlords is their ability to wield influence in state and local politics, she said, shaping decisions that make a big impact on renters. 2018, for example, Blackstone, different than BlackRock, spent more than $6.2 million fighting a ballot initiative that would have allowed rent control in California cities. First of all, good. The fact that rent control is even being listed by this article as any kind of good thing, I think, is indicative of something.
True.
But two, nothing in here really like makes me concerned that once again this is
You haven't read the whole thing, to be very clear, but go ahead. It's fine. It's fine, but you just haven't read the whole thing.
You got
I have
an
read
AI
a
summary.
I have read a disproportionate
He's read
amount of this
enough
for the
to
amount
make
of
an
time
opinion.
for the amount of time that I've had it. I have read more than enough to have an opinion. I've read probably
And you can have
95%
an
more than
opinion, but you
Americans have read this and come to an opinion. I even found this is a paragraph like 3/4 down the page, Prime. that I
you
found.
skimmed
I'm
through
just-
it and then you found the one.
I
thing. know you
skimmed through the
it.
part they were talking about the history of Fannie
Okay,
Mae and
all right,
Freddie
it's
Mac.
fine. No, it's fine.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
need to
I'm
know
sorry.
about
I'm sorry,
that.
friend.
I need to
I'm
know
sorry,
what their
friend.
point is when it comes to
Go ahead.
is it a
It's
good
okay.
thing when private equity
It's
firms
okay,
they come
right?
in and
Yes, yes.
when the private equity firms come in. So far, what this article has demonstrated is that they're very effective at destroying incredibly terrible policy. So that's good, great, yay, fucking awesome, way to go, Blackstone. But then the other thing here is, I'm not seeing whether it be through this or whether it be through anything else, that I'm not seeing anything here that to me concerns me all that much. Once again, this article is about apartment units in large apartment complexes, which are going to be owned by companies to begin with, as opposed to, I think, what this bill targets, which is single-family homes, which is a absurdly small percentage that are owned by institutional investors, including private equity.
Yeah, but
So, I mean,
Well, I want to.
real quick. So, to the extent that this is related, because it's not super related to this bill, but to the extent that this is related, I have no problem with a company, regardless of what they call themselves, coming in and buying out the property of another company and then making changes, some of which might lose them renters, as the article explains. One of the complaints was, well, then they raise the price and then higher income people come in and move in. Okay. And
Right. What's the issue there?
what's the issue there? Sometimes you're going to want to
God.
market to a higher income group of people.
For sure.
And then the places that they leave open up.
But okay, so this is the issue that I'm having right here. I'm like looking at this bill.
I'm looking at their Yelp page, and I got to be honest with you. I think that's a hit piece, Prime. I'm not sure that there's anything factual in that thing that you sent.
You haven't read
I
it,
don't.
so let's start with that.
So
Their
I-
Yelp page is like
I'm gonna
like,
read the whole thing, even including the fucking Freddie Mac part. I'm gonna read the whole
Okay,
thing. You ready?
so-
All right, here we go.
So I've read whatever you just posted, but I have been reading through this bill right here. Right? And
Someone's
so I-
honest. Thank you, Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to what Joe was saying, and it kind of got me wondering because part of this that we talked about was the zoning laws, right? And so I started diving into this, and there's some kind of interesting stuff in here, right? And so one of the things they want to do is they want to have you updating zoning codes and regulatory process, adopting pre-approved pattern books of housing designs and speed of approvals for ADUs, duplexes, townhomes, etc.
Sorry, what are you saying? I don't understand. What are you saying?
All right,
Could
so
you
they're
repeat
using
that?
pre-approved pattern books, right? So it's basically they're just going to be like slop. It's just going to go in. They're just going to be like regular, the cheapest kind of houses you throw up together, whatever you go. And then it also includes like preformed, like kind of like prefab stuff. And then it goes in here and it talks about how it's going to incentivize low income housing and all sorts of stuff like this. I don't know that this is what I was really expecting when I'm reading through what it's going to do for the zoning. When I was thinking the zoning, I was thinking, so I deal with a lot of like, we have land all over Texas, right? And so in some neighborhoods, there's oil. Well, what you'll do is you'll build an oil well and then you'll build a shell of a house around it, which is kind of what I thought they were talking about here. That's not really what they're talking about. They're not saying that they're going to make it easier to build houses in areas where there weren't houses before. It seems like what they're doing is they're going to just like throw a bunch of cheap crap and they're going to try to make low income housing, lower property values, like lower all these things. And I don't know that this is actually as good as it's been sold now that I'm really in depth into this. I got some concerns, especially in regards to how they're doing the zoning. Do y'all have any thoughts on this?
So I don't want to.
I don't understand zoning. To be fair,
I
that's not
actually
argument.
really want to focus on this
I-
part.
can-
I'm
what
sorry,
does-
I don't want to.
Can I focus on it,
I
bro?
don't-
Because like I want to. Because okay, so like, Hunter, what's the problem with? Wait, what Prime was illustrating was that like, a company comes in and buys a majority of the apartment complexes
Yeah.
within like a neighborhood. So like I'm gonna relate it to the college town where it was like McKinley. They buy it up. If there's now no competition, and even with the money that they're making, they're building new apartment complexes, but it's under their name, under their tag, under whatever. So it's not like the prices are going down; the prices are going to be going. There is no competition.
Sure. If there's no competition, then that's a monopolistic practice, and I'm against it.
Okay, so
Okay. So hold on. No, I don't want to, guys. I don't want to focus. So and I see your hand there. Great. Like, yeah, you're talking about what's the problem? Well, yeah, the problem is that when you take away choice, then it allows these renters to abuse tenants, right? That's the thing, right? You're
It
saying, hey,
only
it doesn't
allows-
matter if we.
They operate under different
Fred,
LLCs with one with one
Hold on,
like
hold on,
owner.
hold on. You were going to have to point to very, very, very specific examples where an entire institutional investor is able to take over an entire fucking city because
No,
largely
hold on.
speaking,
Stop being a fucking
I'm
weasel.
talking.
No, I'm not going to stop because you're being a fucking weasel. No, I never said they're going to take over an entire city, right? There is no example of them taking an entire city. I never said that, right?
Okay,
So
then
that's
what are
not-
we
I'm not
talking
gonna
about?
give you that
Wasn't that
dumbass answer,
McKinley?
right?
Isn't that
And
what
so,
the
no,
McKinley
that's
example
really
was?
stupid. That's really stupid. I was very specific
Okay.
in what I said previously.
I was
said,
I was
hey,
responding
the
to Ollie,
more-
by the way, but go
the
ahead.
The more. Did Ali? Did you say one of them was going to take over an entire city?
It's not that they take over entire cities.
Is
but
that
you
not
have,
what
like,
McKinley
large
is?
groups of people who are buying out. You have companies that are buying out apartment complexes, right? And if like one of them owns 7 different apartment complexes under different names, right? One's like Spice Tree, one's Long Meadow.
hold on.
Yeah,
The bill that was just passed doesn't really apply to apartment complexes. It
I know.
applies to
He
single
changed
family.
the conversation.
We
He
understand
changed the
that. Hold on.
conversation.
Yeah,
to
we're
this,
moving the
So
conversation.
they're operating under different names, like
I
some will be
understand.
Spicy,
So
some
they're
will be
taking
whatever.
over an entire city under different names. Yes.
No, an
It's
entire
not
city.
an entire
I'm not
city.
following then. What are we talking about?
All right, hold on. We're talking about private equity taking over apartment buildings. We didn't say the entire city worth of apartment buildings. You didn't have
No,
to
but
do
no.
that.
Why can't they just move to a different part of the city that's not owned by this institutional
Why can't,
inventor?
yes, exactly. Hold on. When you take
Well,
up,
that's because
you
that's what I
just-
was
we just
talking about
had
with the
a- we
zoning
just
and,
had a
and the
conversation.
incentives.
We just
Wait,
had a
hold on.
That's
I'm not
exactly
listening.
what I was
Wait,
talking
about.
shut the
Hold
fuck
on.
up, Gibbs. I don't know what you're saying. I'm
Well,
trying to
hold
listen
on,
to
hold on.
Prime.
Hold on. I've been quiet this whole time. And
Fair.
This is
I'm just
exactly
trying to
what I
listen
was
to
just
Prime.
talking-
He has
This is.
been.
Oh,
I know,
you're right.
I'm-
This
that is fair.
exactly what y'all have been. I was just talking about with this with regards to like how these are going to be taken over, what they're going to zone, what buildings are going to take, what's the prefab, what they're like incentivizing, how they're going to use old buildings. This is everything I was just talking about, and you're like, oh no, and now you're like, oh okay, now let's talk about it. It's kind of crazy. That y'all are just like,
So-
making a fool.
So what I was saying, hold on. What I'm saying is that like you can become a big enough buyer, right? And a
Okay.
big enough player within a market, right? Where you can start dictating terms, right? You don't have to be
Three
the only
companies own all
player.
the
Great. So
apartments.
hopefully you understand that, Hunter.
Right.
So now that we've understood that, that will be the problem. You're saying, hey, first of all, why can't these people just move, right? Like after we had a conversation about the difficulties of like moving out of the country, yeah, it's not the same, but it's also difficult for people to move from one place to another,
Okay.
right? To upend their lives, to destroy whatever they had going on. Maybe their work is close to them. Now maybe they have to travel much farther away, and this happened not because there was some sort of change in the market, right? Only because this company, which we could say this investment firm, bought it up and decided to make these changes. Right? There wasn't some sort of a massive change. They just simply did this. They imposed this upon this, and you're like, well, why can't they just immiserate the population? This is a very liberal way of thinking. Of
Hold on,
course, yeah.
hold
like,
on,
what
just
difference would it make, right? Why don't we
Also,
just move
Lactoid,
these
stop
people
reading
around?
that
It
stupid
actually
fucking
does
article.
cause.
Jump into
I'm
this.
almost done. Almost done.
I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
like
Yeah. Hold on. So
I'll
hold on. But
respond.
okay. Well, while we're doing that, sorry. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna do this myself. You guys were talking a lot. I'm gonna talk now. So, Hunter.
Yes.
Like, does it does the quality of the lives of the citizens of a region, of a location, does that matter at all?
Yes,
Right?
I would
Or
say it
can a
does.
corp? Oh, it does. Okay,
It
good.
does,
All right.
it
So then
does.
you would say. So then on the other end, then you would say that that would inhibit the ability that then we should be allowed to inhibit the abilities of corporations to immiserate them.
I would say insofar that it would help them, sure, but I don't think it would help them.
How would it not help? them?
Because wait, hold on. Fuck. We got so lost to the point. Here's the point. I'm not even gonna answer that question. I want to get to your main point. which
build
is-
more apartments to affordable. That's the point.
No, I'm gonna
No,
go. I'm gonna address
let me
Prime's
say it.
point. I'm addressing Prime's point.
Sure.
Prime's point is, okay. I want to be super clear. I don't want. This is a question because I think that I understand you. Maybe I don't. Okay, you're saying an institutional investor can take up a large enough part of a town's houses, insofar that they can determine how those houses are operating, and they can ensure that prices don't go down, and they can reduce competition within a city. Is that fair to say or no?
Within a city and specifically a type
A
of housing
region.
market
We'll say a
as well.
region, like a
No,
small part
no,
of a city.
No. I hear you, right? But I'm saying like I'm just adding one other part to this, right?
I
Because
would say you have. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. Just very quickly, just one other part to it, right? Because what we're talking about here is that they're not going after just any type of housing, right? They focus on specific sectors, right? Our friend Ali talked
Sure.
about like them buying college dorms
neighborhoods,
or
yeah.
whatever, right? Yeah. Like in the article, it does say that maybe Lactoid read it. Of a point where the private equity switched to that type of investment strategy. So, but in this particular investment strategy, we're talking about apartment buildings. So that sector of the of the housing market in that region. But go ahead. Just
Sure.
want to add that.
I'm gonna say. Oh, also, Grid does want to get in here, but I do want to answer.
Yeah,
your
I'm trying to
question.
be very polite here, but I it's fine. I'll listen to the.
I do want to say. First off, if a company is overtaking an entire sector of houses, yeah, I would be against that.
Okay,
Second-
let me ask you, Hunter. So
Hold on,
let's just say,
no. Before you jump in, I want to get this out because we're gonna move away from this. So Hunter, right? I got questions for Hunter. I got questions for Blacktoad. I'm gonna get those questions.
I
asked,
do have to
right?
answer this.
So,
I do think first off, housing is one of the most diversified assets in America. It's owned largely speaking by mom and pops. Like it's not like food. It's not like stores. It's like this is almost solely
God.
built by landlords who are just grandparents who own their house and
Oh my
are
God.
giving it to
can
their
I?
Oh
can
my
I-
God.
Look,
No,
Hunter, let me.
don't. I want to focus on one thing. All I'm
I'm
fragments.
So I'm gonna
focusing
say
on this
you're
one
gonna have to
thing.
be really specific with these incidents that you're referring to are gonna be very sparse between them. It's not this global national issue, but those
So-
times that they occur,
Yes,
sure,
exactly
they're bad.
what I said.
Hunter,
Exactly, right? It's not a
Hunter,
global
could I-
national issue.
If I may.
Not please, not yet. I just want to handle this myself.
Yeah, shut the
okay?
fuck up,
Right?
Grid. All right, the boys
So
are talking.
we'll get to you, Grid. I promise, Grid. We're gonna get to you.
Watch.
Yeah. So the. No, sorry, I didn't say that.
Okay, I read the whole article.
Oh, thank you, Lactoid. Okay.
Yeah,
but,
Grid was right. It's a hit piece.
I
okay.
know because I read really
it seemed
fast.
like shit for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. So, like one, it's not just one company, and they don't, like I said previously.
No, but it is
they
one
don't have
company. It's
to-
just under different LLCs.
No. That's a strategy that some of these investors do, right? And that does indeed limit competition. But there could have been multiple companies doing the same thing. But in effect, right, we have
An
a bunch of
oligopoly.
companies.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, you know the name, but I'm saying in effect, we have a block of housing that's taken away, right, from these other types of ownership strategies that offer it's seemingly different results, right? Have a pattern of offering different results to this one strategy that has to have high returns very quickly. So, why the problem with private equity? Private equity is, and Lactoid knows this because he read the article. Private equity, their funds often last for 10 years, right? Like that's the life of the fund. And within that 10 years, they have to get returns, right? And so within that set time frame, hey, I got to buy up housing, right? I got to institute some change, right? And then I have to get a return on that investment. A private equity is trying to do extremely high returns on that investment. So how do you do that? Well, you could maybe, right, buy up the housing and then make improvements. What our friend Good talked about that, right? He says he buys up housing and he makes improvements that raises the property value, right? And if you can't buy it, well, whatever, right? I just made like more quality housing. That's your problem, not my problem. Okay, that's one thing. Or you could just buy up the property, jack up rates, right? Apropos of actually doing nothing, right? Reduce services, like it was shown in the article, which Lactoid knows because he read it. And
Beginning to end.
you can make the experience worse, right? Well, actually adding anything into it, right? As opposed to other ownership strategies that aren't on a time limit. They don't have to make their money back immediately. They can hold this property for a long time. And when you do
what
that,
ownership strategy?
hold on a second. And when you do that, it also encourages a longer term thinking. Well, we're not trying. There's not an asset I have to get off my books immediately, right, within a 10-year time span, right? I don't have to get this off my books immediately. I'm actually trying to create relations, have good customer service, and so we don't have to engage in predatory practices. So yes, it makes a difference. The incentives are the problem, not simply that like private equity did it, right, where the money comes from. No, it's the incentives that are aimed at extracting as much value as possible in a short amount of time. There you go.
Okay.
Okay,
quick,
may I please?
Go ahead, Grid.
Please, because Hunter, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
If I, for example, owned 65% of the available apartments in a town, would you say that I had like a monopoly?
Not even a little. Probably not. It would depend on how rents.
But would I meet your threshold for
affected.
that, for being the bad guy
It depends if
and
rents
controlling costs? 65% is a lot of doors, and every unit that I own is around 100 doors, maybe more.
It would. I don't even understand. It depends on the market. Like I don't know what
So
the.
it's-
No. Here's
I
the
got
thing.
you. I got
Here's
you.
the
Keep
thing.
going. Keep going.
I don't know how much
Mm.
you would need to own in order to stabilize the price and reduce the quality of the homes without lowering.
Why
costs.
would that reduce? Why does that in your mind it inherently reduces the quality of the home that I would own 65%?
No, it
Why
doesn't.
would I do?
This
I didn't-
bill
I said
inherently
otherwise.
reduces the value of the homes. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. The way I'm reading this, it's literally the way it's laid out. The incentives it incentivizes
Grid,
you
I think
to
you're
make
misunderstanding.
shittier prefab homes as opposed. to
I
like
could be. That's why
nicer,
I'm trying to.
Sure.
I'm trying to ask you these
I'm
questions.
saying,
I
I'm
want to
saying,
understand.
obviously, if you have 100% of homes,
Mhm.
you can do whatever you want with the homes and not decrease the prices.
Well,
I don't know if
65%.
65% you're able
So
to do that. It's all
I
about
know Prime hates private equity, but I am private equity. I literally have a real estate
I don't
trust
hate
or
private.
a real estate
I
fund. It's
said
not
he
yes,
trust.
hates
very
private
start.
equity. You got it
I
right.
said at the very start, I don't hate that.
Yeah,
I said
he
like
does.
it doesn't
I,
matter.
I'm
It's just
literally that
investment
guy. I
strategy.
mean, we've got one fund. We're doing another fund, and we're going to get
He's
now. We're
that
looking,
guy, Prime.
I am that guy.
Just
And
building.
it's okay. You can hate me,
He's
but
the
I don't
villain.
I don't
understand
hate
none of the
you.
things
I
that you're
don't
talking about.
Grid can't
He is
listen.
that
He has-
guy.
Yeah, none
is
of
a
you,
villain,
none of
it's
the
fine. He
things
wants
that
to
you
be the
guys are
bad boy.
talking about are things that I do. I'm right now in negotiations with a guy. There's a guy in Florida
I was
that owns
talking about you.
65% of the apartment buildings in
Are
this
you
town.
gonna
And what he
attack
does,
Buy it up, raise the rents. He's gonna
what he
do it.
does is he goes to these boomers who are in their 80s that own these apartment complexes, and their kids don't want to have anything to do with it. They just want to sell it, and he buys it from them, usually in cash.
Great.
And now he owns 65%, and we didn't realize he owned that much of this, and now we actually are in the middle of doing a deal with him to buy another 100-door apartment complex from that exact
Oh wait,
thing
a
that-
minute. Is he one of the guys that will like send out the mailers like, "Hey, we'll buy your home for cash"?
I have no idea how he gets the
If
leads.
he's
or
buying
anything
apartment
like-
complexes.
Is it
no.
usually older? Hold on, is his customer base usually older people?
Yeah, he's like what he was telling is like most of them are like in their 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah,
They've owned them
don't let your family
forever.
sell to guys like this. Oh god,
And,
I know what this guy
they
does.
just the family just doesn't want anything to do with it, and he buys them, and we're in
Or
the
they
middle of
don't
trying to
know.
do a deal with him. I think it's going to go through. We'll see, but
Yeah.
that would give
I don't-
him go from 65 to 75% of the apartments in this town that I live in, which is not a small town. And I didn't realize that one guy owned all of that shit. That was very funny to find
It's
that
kind
out.
of how it is. It's,
So,
it's one
I
guy or a
ha-
couple guys.
Yeah.
Right.
So, hon,
And
none
and
of
so
it-
I'm just curious when you talk about this and so you have all of these people. There's literally no reason for us as a private equity firm to downgrade any services. Matter of fact, we're trying to offer more services because we're now having to compete with smaller, more mobile, more boutique.
You're a good company, but
Sorry.
that's not
Yo,
indicative
hon,
of
no,
all
no, no, don't even-
companies.
No, but
Don't
he's
give
saying
that-
that's the
one second.
incentive.
Fine, knock
He's
it
saying
off.
that that's
Don't
how
give
I
it-
make money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
that's
give
how I
him
make
that.
money.
Hold on 1 second. Don't give him that. One, I don't know anything about your fucking business. I don't know anything about your fucking business. And I don't know if it counts as to the things that we're talking about, talking about large institutional private business. Because we're not just talking about anyone with, that raises money privately, right? And then invests that right within a small fund to buy
You can invest,
different
Brian.
houses, right? Yes,
You can
I
invest.
know. Hold on. But like that's not that, and that's fine, right? And I hope you're doing well, and I hope everything you're saying is true, right? But we don't need to analyze it. We
prove
don't need
it.
to get distracted by it. We don't have to deal with that, right? Because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about large institutional private investors within the private equity sphere,
That's
and
what he's talking
how
about.
they
75% of the doors of apartment
doesn't-
buildings in a town is a
doesn't
big business.
matter. Doesn't matter, hon. I don't have to. I do not have to like spend my time guessing about the anecdote that you're trying to come up with, right? I'm talking about a larger trend within the housing market, right? So that's what we're discussing.
And I'm
We're
asking you to
talking
prove the trend because you haven't.
Yeah,
You
I
gave
have-
one
you
example
haven't-
of a
I
company
have- I
that was a
have-
hit
I haven't.
piece.
You've
It
engaged
had
in
nothing to do with
I have-
anything.
I don't care.
I keep
Hey,
asking
Greg,
you to
Greg,
please tell me what the
Greg,
threshold
shut
is.
the fuck up.
What is
You have
it?
no
What's
idea.
the
You're actually
threshold?
just saying nonsense.
Hunter
Shut up.
couldn't give me
I'm
the
trying to-
threshold because
Shut up,
there
hold on.
isn't
No,
one.
you're gonna
Well, I
shut
don't
up.
think that they're.
Shut the
I don't
fuck up,
know if
please.
they're.
Shut the fuck up. I am trying to actually have this conversation. Stop fucking distracting me. Stop it. Stop it. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Okay? We're having this conversation. I'm not gonna fucking guess at whatever the fuck you're doing in your fucking apartment buildings. I have no idea. I hope it goes well for you. I hope it's profitable for you, right? But it's not what we're talking about. So stop fucking distracting me. Fuck. Any which way, back to it. All right, back to it. Lactoid, what did you have to say?
Prime, you gotta fucking calm down.
I feel like I got the
Don't
judge
fucking tell me to do that.
after.
Hold on, stop. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Don't fucking tell me to do that. Say it again.
Okay.
Don't fucking tell me to do that.
Okay.
Hold on, you want to say something to me? Hold on, do you have something to say to me? Do you have
Me?
something to say to me, Hunter? Yeah, you. Yeah, I'm fucking
I think
talking
you
to
got anger issues. Yeah, I think you gotta calm down.
Okay, get the fuck out of here. Moving on. Lactoid.
I think Gibbs has something interesting to say. I saw his hand up
Lactoid,
earlier.
please.
Gibbs.
Lactoid, please.
I have no comments.
Lactoid, please.
Well, I had a comment on the article. I don't know if the current, because I was saving that, and there was like a current back and forth. I don't know if that this might be a little bit off topic from that.